2 of 3 from the Dodgers and a tie in the West. What does it all mean? Plus a look ahead to the trip up to Seattle. Now live from the studios of San Diego Sports 760, it's John and Jim.
All right, San Diego, Southern California, what's going on? It is hour one of John and Jim back after that busy weekend against the Dodgers, and a really good show lined up for you today. Kevin Acee, of course, is our Padres insider. We'll hear from him in Seattle, Washington at 5:30. We're also going to talk to the Mariners play-by-play voice, Aaron Goldsmith, who's been with us before. He'll join us at 4:30, and we'll talk about SDFC and the road to the postseason, which is now clinched. Darren Smith, friend of the show, of course, will join us coming up at 3:30. But when you start with the Padres this weekend, I think two things are true, as I always like to say. It was a good weekend because you won a series against a team you hadn't beaten in a series since last year, but wasted opportunity because they had a chance to sweep the series. They led in the 6th inning yesterday, 2-1. We'll get into the back and forth and the bullpen decisions. We'll hear from Mike Schilt, but good overall. We wanted to see them win a series. They did that. They wanted to get greedy. They couldn't fully complete it. Tied with 31 to play. What more could you ask for if you're a Padres or a baseball fan in the NL West?
Yeah, I think we should start. Let's start with the positives. All right. It went 5-2. I'm going the Mike Schilt route. All right. It went 5-2 on the homestand.
Mm-hmm.
They are playing great baseball since the trade deadline.
Mm-hmm.
They are tied for first place in the National League West.
Right.
They finally beat the Dodgers in a series, which they haven't done since last, I think, July, where they swept them in a quick 2-game series at home. All of the trade acquisitions have been fantastic. Ramon Laureano, O'Hearn, Mason Miller, Freddie Fermin, all of those guys that I just mentioned right there. JP Sears, he pitched great against the Giants last week. We'll see him tonight in Seattle. They've all contributed. It's all been great. That's all great news, and it's all, something to look forward to here, that the Padres have a real good opportunity in front of them to win their first, division title since 2006.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday, though, was disappointing. You can have both things can be true. You can have a successful weekend with a disappointing finish. You had an opportunity to not only sweep the Dodgers, but more importantly, go 2-up in the division. It was a 2-game swing yesterday. That 7th inning, where it just all unraveled for the Padres, was a 2-game swing from going up 2 to tied, and essentially you're now still down 1 game in the division because the Dodgers hold the tiebreaker. So you're gonna have to outplay the Dodgers over the final 31 games by at least the game to win the division here. Won't be easy, even though your schedule is incredibly easy. The pressure is on. But yesterday it just left a little sour taste in your mouth because of how big that 2-game swing kind of feels now in the moment, right?
Feels like the Dodgers got both of the 2-game swings because at Dodger Stadium, Padres came back in a game only to lose. That was a 2-game swing. And then in the series at Petco, the Padres led only to see the Dodgers come back and win. That was a 2-game swing. If you think about those 2 games,
2-game swings,
4 games swung in the balance. If you think about last Sunday, the 2-game swing, they got it to 4-4. Suarez allows the home run to Betts. Yesterday, I mean, imagine if I told you got a chance to sweep the LA Dodgers at home. You have Nick Pivetta on the mound with a lead in the 6th inning with your bullpen. I think you'd feel about 95% confidence you'd win the game. Now, They lost going away. The Dodgers hit all these home runs. And I don't really fault Mike Schilt for his decision-making after Pivetta. We're going to get into this. Jeremiah Estrada comes in the game. He allows the 3-run home run to Dalton Rushing. Could he have gone to Adrian Morejon? I thought the reasoning for going to Estrada made sense. I know there's been a ton of second guessing. He allowed the 3-run home run. The Dodgers end up winning going away. I know Estrada has struggled against LA this year. I mean, he's mightily struggled against LA this year.
And they're got a 20 ERA.
But what do you say if David Morgan comes on the 7th inning and the same thing happens? What do you say if Mason Miller comes on the 7th inning? Like, why is Mason Miller pitching in the 7th inning? I think guys have roles. They're expected to perform in those roles. When Fernando Tatis Jr. doesn't hit a home run for a month, does he not play?
Right.
So Estrada's been good. He had a sub 2.5 ERA entering the series. So they blow the lead. Estrada's the one that ultimately cost them. I think Mike Schilt had a great explanation. We'll hear from Schilt in a moment. But I thought he got defensive. As in, I don't think he needed to get defensive. The explanation was, I trust Estrada in that spot. We'll hear from Mike Schilt on it. But I don't have a problem with the move. I have a problem with his reaction to the move and the criticism on the other side of it.
Well, I mean, the move didn't work out. So it turned out to be a bad move.
But I don't have a problem with the move.
No, exactly. That's where I'm going. Is the move didn't work out. So it in hindsight, and hindsight's the greatest thing ever.
It's always going to look better.
Always going to look great. Everybody out there today that is saying, they should have used David Morgan. Well, you are basing your opinion off of hindsight. And in the moment, by the way, like you said, if he puts in David Morgan and David Morgan does the exact same thing, what are we all saying today?
Should have used Jeremiah Estrada or these guys that have been in those spots more often.
Like, why are you using David Morgan, a guy that has rarely pitched in many high leverage situations? He's pitched in a couple high leverage situations, but for the most part, he's not getting the ball in the 7th or 8th inning in a situation where you're either leading the game or if the game is tied. The only way he's getting the ball there is if you have 3 or 4 guys down in the bullpen, and then he's elevated.
Yeah, he's never been asked to do that against the Dodgers in the 7th inning with a sweep on the line.
Yeah. And I'll say this about Jeremiah Estrada. When you look back on it now, it turns out it was a bad move. Jeremiah Estrada, what does Pedro say? I'll just tip my cap and call the Dodgers my daddy. That's what Jeremiah Estrada essentially has to do with the Dodgers right now. Tip his cap and call the Dodgers his daddy because they own him. Like, not just like a couple runs off of him. Like, every time he's out there, he gives up either home runs or runs as in plural. He's been awful against them this year in particular. But in the moment, when you bring out Jeremiah Estrada there, it wasn't like Schilt was bringing out Estrada to face the top of the Dodgers lineup. That would make me raise my eyebrows and go, huh? He brought him out to face the bottom of the order. Now, Pages, he's been dangerous. He's killed the Padres all year long, but kept him in the yard, got a single. Okay, that's fine. Where it unraveled is where Jeremiah Estrada then walks Michael Conforto, one of the worst offseason acquisitions in all of baseball. He's been terrible for the Dodgers. You walk Conforto, we have a problem there. You can't walk Conforto. Now you get Rojas, okay, 2 on 1 out. If you cannot get out the number 9 hitter in Dalton Rushing, a guy that's hitting 187 on the year, and it was worse when he was at the plate because he hit that 3-run homer off of Jeremiah Estrada, but the guy's hitting 187. Did anybody in their right mind think, this guy's going to hit a 3-run homer off of Estrada here? No. You're expecting Jeremiah Estrada to get Dalton Rushing out, and then Schilt would go to Morejon to face Ohtani, the top of the lineup here. To me, yesterday, I understand the move from Mike Schilt. You can question it all you want, but I'm looking at it from like the standpoint of, all right, if you can't get the bottom of the order out here, like that's a problem for you, but I trust you to do that, and you should be able to get out of that spot there. And if you don't use Jeremiah Estrada against the Dodgers, and say you do face them again, likely in the NLCS, because that kind of feels like the pathway right now where they would meet in the postseason if they were to meet. If you're not going to use Jeremiah Estrada against the Dodgers, then what's the point of Jeremiah Estrada then?
Of course they're going to use him against the Dodgers. And why didn't they use Mason Miller? Because there's an 8th inning. And why didn't they use Robert Torres? Because there's an 9th inning. And why would you use Mason Miller against the bottom of the order? So basically the whole conversation comes back to this. They should have pitched David Morgan because Jeremiah Estrada allowed a 3-run home run. That's ridiculous because nobody thought going in, but John, I'm in a Twitter group, and I said that I didn't have a good feeling when Estrada came on the mound. Great. Everyone says the same thing all season long. I mean, these Facebook groups, Twitter groups, subreddits, give me a break. This is Jeremiah Estrada's role. He's pitched well in that role. He has not pitched well against the Dodgers, but he's pitched well in that role. He's got to be able to succeed in that spot. He'll be asked to pitch in that exact same spot in the postseason if you get there, in the postseason against the Dodgers if they get there. Let's hear from Mike Schilt. This was some of his reasoning yesterday with Estrada in the 7th inning.
You won the series. You guys are tied for first place, played well for the most part. What was your take on the series?
I would say better than for the most part. I think we played excellent baseball. If you go 5-2 at home and win both series, I'd say you did a lot of things excellent. We're not perfect.
Jeremiah has obviously been incredible this year. Struggled a bit against the Dodgers. Wondering if there was any thought to not using him in that lane there, or why you did.
I'll start with the first part. Jeremiah's been outstanding all day. He was in a lane that, quite frankly, he's been great for us. People can run from people. I personally don't. It's easy to I don't know what that question led to, but all I can tell you is it was a lane that he has had success with that lane, starting at Padres. We felt good about all of it. He gave up a ground ball single. The walk to Conforto obviously was important. Got Rojas. Didn't go to Morihone because Stadner brings in Will Smith.
The idea that you have a pitcher who has given up, last night gave up a homer. Dodgers seem to be giving him some trouble. Doesn't matter. That the lane is what
I'm not saying
matters.
it doesn't matter. All I'm telling you is, do you want me to answer the question, or do you want to?
Sorry, I meant that it was a question. Like, that doesn't matter. I was trying to get to the bottom of. It's simply about you trust Jeremiah in that lane.
I just explained the answer, and you just repeated the question again. I'm not sure what to say. I trusted him in the lane. Okay. I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know what you keep wanting me to explain to you. I mean, he's had success against Padres. Conforto doesn't have any numbers on him. It's a different lane than other guys he's faced. He's been outstanding, as good as almost anybody in the league. He gave up a ground ball single, a walk to Conforto. He got Rojas. We preferred to have him in on rushing versus Morihone on Smith potentially. And he hit a homer. I don't know, if we're going to explore every time an inning doesn't work out, man, that's going to be tough because we're not perfect. He's not perfect, so I don't know what more to explain.
It being the end of the regular season series against the Dodgers, you're tied with them 5 weeks to go. How do you view the challenge of what those 5 weeks ahead are?
We're excited. We couldn't be more thrilled. We're playing great baseball. We're playing outstanding baseball. So, I don't tend to get too caught up in today. Today we were disappointed. I'm disappointed. All right. It didn't happen for us. We couldn't be more thrilled. We're tied for our division lead and expect to go win it.
Okay, so first off, Mike, buddy, when things don't go right and when your moves don't work, they're going to be questioned. All right. You have to have thicker skin, which clearly you do not. You do not like when your moves are questioned. And I find it to be incredibly annoying to hear that from a manager. Every time, a journalist asks to explain a move that didn't work out. Like, that's the job, Mike. When you make a move and it doesn't work out, you're going to get questioned on it. And the fact that he always has to emphasize, we're playing great baseball. We're not just playing good baseball. We're playing exceptional baseball. Mike, we know. You don't have to keep polishing this thing. We get it. Stop. Okay. The question that Kevin was asking was a very simple one that you couldn't answer. So
no, it's an easy. He had the answer.
He had the answer, but then he just
defensive.
stopped.
This is the easiest answer in the world. Hey, why did you go with Estrada there in that spot? I'd be like, because we trust Estrada. He's come through for us all year. And the reason we kept Estrada out there against rushing, because if we went to Adrian Morihone, who was up, we were fearful of him being turned around by Will Smith, and we liked the matchup against rushing more than the matchup of Smith. No defensiveness. I don't even think it's that much of a story, truthfully, if he would have said that. But because he didn't want to take the critiquing, he opened up the criticism, in my opinion, because he got defensive. He opened it up. I think his reason for having Estrada out there is simple. I think his general manager would back him up. I think it makes a lot of sense. I would have pitched Jeremiah Estrada in that spot. Now, without knowing what would have happened, with the benefit of hindsight, I would have done anything but it. But in that spot going in, makes complete sense. I would have done it.
Yeah, you have to also know situation and timing of everything. And it wasn't Estrada facing Ohtani, Betts, Freeman, Smith, Hernandez, Muncy. Now I know Muncy's on the lineup. You get my point.
Yeah.
He was facing the bottom of the order. All right. Now, Pages has had some success off him. No home runs, but he does have some success. A single, all right? And then where the problem lies is Estrada walking Conforto.
Or the home run to rushing.
And then the home run. Well, first it was Conforto.
Right.
And then it was the home run to the number 9 hitter in Dalton Rushing.
Yeah, that was the big issue.
Nobody thought that Dalton Rushing was going to have a 3-run homer.
No, we're going to hear from Jeremiah Estrada on the other side. We want to hear from you as well. 877-767-4760. Kevin Acee will join us at 5:30. Darren Smith on SDFC at 3:30. We'll talk to him about the Padres as well. Plus, Aaron Goldsmith, voice of the Mariners, who's to get ready for Padres and Mariners, will join us at 4:30. This is John and Jim. All right, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. Padres Mariners coming up tonight at 6:40. Aaron Goldsmith, voice of the Mariners, at 4:30. Kevin Acee, our Padres insider, will join us coming up at 5:30. I have not heard Jeremiah Estrada postgame. I saw some quotes in Kevin's article about how the Dodgers have his number, and they're like, they probably know like what underwear he's wearing.
Right.
But I've not heard him say it. So we do have Jeremiah Estrada from postgame, just about 3 minutes or so, if we have the entirety of it. Do you know where this starts, Brent? All right, so it starts with a question from Kevin Acee. Padres again lose. Estrada in the 7th allows the home run to Rushing. It's been second guessed and questioned. Here was Estrada postgame.
What was your take on today?
I don't even know. Don't hang a slider. I mean, simple as that.
It's
Don't
incredible.
walk people.
It's incredible how good your numbers are against every other team in the league. When you think of
On how I give up 13 runs to one team. I don't know. It's baseball. A bunch of goofy happens in baseball, doesn't it? I don't know.
do you think there's any difference in like the way like you make less mistakes against them, or they're really good hitters, obviously?
Clearly, they're not making any mistakes with me. I mean, I don't know. I mean, any type of contact, it's either over the fence or something. I mean, it's baseball ain't easy.
It's just that
really mess with your mind a bit, but I mean, the greats have gone through these struggles. Everyone is, since this game has existed, there's struggles. Could be one team, two teams. I mean, it's baseball. I mean,
the team doesn't run for matches. Is that your mentality too, regardless of your struggles against the Dodgers? You want that one?
if Shilty says who wants the ball again in the 7th inning and tie game, I'm gonna raise my hand. It don't matter. It's just who I am. I don't like to lose. I mean, it's baseball. Like I mean, come on, it's gonna happen. You know, last year I did really good against them. This year I don't know.
They're known as a team that's pretty good at taking themselves and all that. Do you think they might have anything along those lines on you?
Something on me? I mean, I don't even know. They might even know what color underwears I'm wearing. I mean, I don't even know what the heck it is, you know, like I just, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it's a hard game, man. It's gonna, sometimes it can get to you. Some situations, you come over here and strike out the side. Next time you give up 4 runs again in the game and a home run again, back-to-back nights. It's like, I mean, not much to really say about it. I mean, honestly, it's part of the game. I leave it on in God's hands, and you know, I mean, there's always something to look at it, and just I'm able to walk off this field healthy, you know. I think it's what I'm grateful for the most. We'll see him in playoffs. That's all I gotta say. I mean, not much what else you could say. I mean, things happen. Things happen.
How much would you like to get another shot at them?
Like I said, at any point, if Shilty says whoever wants to go in, I mean, put your hand up. I'm gonna be the first person to want to put my hand up. That's just how I am. I don't care what it is. I'm freaking any competition there is. I'm super competitive, you know, and it's a tough game. You're gonna leave pitches in the middle. You're gonna give up 3-run bombs. You're gonna have a team that's senior stuff. You're gonna have something. And ironically, it's against a team that it just happens to be that we're battling right now for the lead with just the division and all that, and just the team down the street. Just, you know, just things aren't going my way.
Yeah, he took ownage of it. No one feels worse in this moment than Jeremiah Estrada because look, I don't know, and you don't know. Nobody knows how this thing is going to play out, but at the end of the year, we could be looking back at yesterday's game and the missed opportunity of going up 2 instead of being tied as like maybe the reason why the Padres don't win the division. I don't know, but we have to wait for those things to happen. The Jeremiah Estrada conversation with the Dodgers, reality is we might not have that conversation again this year. Like there's a very good likelihood that we don't have the conversation of Jeremiah Estrada facing the Dodgers again this season, because the next time they would most likely face each other, according to how the playoff seeding is put together, would be the NLCS. And
They both got to get there.
Yeah, they both got to get there. So we might not even have that conversation again. And by the way, his numbers versus everybody else has been spectacular.
He's got a 1.36 against the rest of the league. We'll continue to react on the other side. Again, Kevin Acee at 5:30. We're here until 6. John and Jim, stay with us.
This update is brought to you by Cal Fire. Padres took 2 or 3 from the Dodgers over the weekend. They're now tied for the division lead in the National League West with 31 games to play. Dodgers do hold the tiebreaker over San Diego as they won the season series. Tonight, Padres start a 3-game series in Seattle versus the Mariners. It's the continuation of the Vetter Cup, John. 6:40 first pitch. JP Sears on the mound for the Padres. The Dodgers, they start a series tonight against the Cincinnati Reds. And SDFC on Saturday night clinched a playoff berth, the first team in MLS to clinch a spot in the postseason. Next up, they'll take on LAFC Sunday night. Of course, you can listen to that match right here on San Diego Sports 760. Wildfires don't wait, and neither should you. Get your go bag ready now. Figure out your evacuation routes. Stay aware of alerts from local law enforcement. And when you need to evacuate, go right away. Learn more at readyforwildfire.org.
All right, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. Jim just brought up a really good point. For all this second guessing, and I see it in the chat, we're going to react to it. We'd love to hear from you. 70470, start with the word team, or you can call us 877-767-4760. For all this second guessing, it comes down to, of all things, Dalton Rushing, who in 117 plate appearances had 2 home runs. He's a 0 WAR player with a .299 slug with his home run. So what everyone's telling me, and this is where everyone is like yinging where you should be yanging. You're not seeing this properly. I'm telling you, not you, but the people that are like, I told you, I know more than Mike Schild. I know more that this is why I'm right. The guy had a .275 slug or whatever coming into the game. How could you possibly put it on the decision made to go to Jeremiah Estrada or leave him in the game when the guy that ultimately made you pay is the guy that homered twice all year in 117 plate appearances, has a .550 on base plus slugging? Like, how could you conflate this or see it any differently than that? You think that if he makes the move right there, he makes the move and he brings on Adrian Morejon, everything's fixed? We have no idea. We don't know what happens. Or if you think that if Estrada never appears in the game, and by the way, you're not the one managing him, chat, you go tell Jeremiah, hey, we're not going to use you against the Dodgers. We just don't trust you. Here's David Morgan, who's never pitched a spot like this in his life, but we're going to trust him. Oh, and I'm sure everyone in the chat is so certain David Morgan would have had the inning of his life.
Yeah, I know.
It would have been an immaculate inning, 9 strikes. So I'm just saying, like, everyone thinks they know everything when the truth is Dalton Rushing beat Jeremiah Estrada. That's what happened.
Yep, it's as simple as that. And by the way, they did have Morejon ready for Ohtani.
Correct.
So if Estrada did his job and got out Dalton Rushing, a guy that you just laid out his numbers, it's been awful.
His numbers are not good. Well, he's a prospect. Great. His numbers aren't good.
It's not good. It's like if Tanner Scott allowed a 3-run homer to Tyler Wade. Probably too big of an extreme because I think Dalton Rushing's probably better than Tyler Wade, but you get my point.
Yeah. Or like Elias Diaz but guess what? Elias Diaz took Yamamoto deep.
Yeah.
Should Yamamoto not have started?
Yeah, it happens. It's just, the overreaction because he gave up the 3-run homer. You have to also look at who he was facing. And in that moment, you got to think to yourself, yo, can Jeremiah Estrada get Dalton Rushing out?
Right.
I'm sorry. I'm not really that scared of Dalton Rushing. I'm scared as hell of Ohtani, but not Dalton Rushing. And he had Morejon ready. Now, you could argue the point that he was, after the 3-run homer, he kept Estrada out there.
100%.
And if you want to argue that he was too slow to react that moment, go for it. Yeah. I'll agree with you on that.
I'm fine with that.
100%. Because at 5-2, if you can maybe get back in the game, 7-2, it's over.
It was. I thought at 5-2. Your point's valid. You got to keep it there. They didn't. I'll put that on him. That's fine.
Yeah, that's on Schilt, 100%.
But more importantly, is what happened before it.
Yeah, and by the way, Morejon's been great this year. Don't get me wrong, but like Will Smith is still an all-star, even though he struggled lately.
Who do you want to face, Rushing or Smith?
Rushing, it's not even close.
I mean, Smith is a 3-time all-star, 2-time champ in the prime of his career who has struggled here recently that can make anyone pay.
Yeah, I think the overreaction to this is the worst move ever. I can't believe Mike Schilt cost him the game. Everybody's emotional today because, it went from the possibility of a sweep yesterday to go 2 up to now it's tied. 2-game swing. and it's not going to be easy down the stretch.
No, but it's also not going to be impossible.
That too.
Here's the thing. What's more important is the 31 games than the one, even with the 2-game swing.
Right.
What's more important is how they play moving forward than them winning yesterday. They could have won yesterday, and if they play like trash down the stretch, who cares? Or they could have lost yesterday, and if they outplay the Dodgers for 31 games, kind of who cares? So to me, listen, we might look up at the end of tonight, and we'll get into the series with Aaron Goldsmith and Kevin Acee, and the Padres might have a 1-game lead again in the division, or they might not. They might be 1 game out of the division if they lose and the Dodgers beat the Reds. So I'm more concerned about the 31 games than to the 7th inning. And I really am, because look at it this way. They win a game Friday that they could have easily lost. Robert Suarez is out there. It's 1st and 3rd.
Mm-hmm.
Hit. Ohtani fly ball to deep center, caught.
Yeah.
They win the game. You never remember it ever again in your life. And then you lose a game like that. And it's like what they say. It's like you remember the hands you lose in poker. You don't remember the hands that you win.
Yeah.
So like, I'm not saying it evens out. They have not been good against the Dodgers. And that conversation wouldn't even fully change if they swept them. They still would have been under 500 against the Dodgers. I just think we're putting way too much stock in them winning 2 out of 3 games. Ultimately, I said it to start. Wasted opportunity. The sweep would have been way more desirable, and it was there in front of them, but they won 2 out of 3. They're even with 31 to play. They have to outplay them by a game. So go do it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's 31 games to do it. It's in their hands. Go do it.
And you just brought the point of Robert Suarez. Robert Suarez is not having a good year against the Dodgers either. Look at his numbers. They're not good. He gave up that home run to Mookie Betts. That was the most recent blunder that he's had against the Dodgers.
He's still had 2 home runs, hasn't he, this year?
Yeah, I want to say
I think he has.
And I think last year he gave up a home run or 2 against the Dodgers as well. You know, that if it wasn't for the triple play last year in September, you know, like he blows that game. Y'all remember the triple play, right? It's been played on Padres.tv 7,000 times this year.
You know what that means? We're 2 on with nobody out.
It was actually, it was 2 on, nobody out.
Yeah.
In the bottom of the 9th inning.
Correct.
So, you know, what are you going to do? Not have Robert Suarez out there either, because he also struggles against the Dodgers. So now you can't use Suarez or Estrada against the Dodgers ever again.
Plus, you're in the midst of a season. You know what that means? Some guys have been used a lot.
Yeah.
Other guys are supposed to be down. Yeah. Other players have lanes. We're basically, this is all boiling down to, why didn't you start the inning with David Morgan? And I'm giving you a reason as to why.
Right. And look, you're not going to find a show in this time slot anywhere in town that's going to be as critical of the Padres and Mike Schilt as this one. We do not have our pom-poms out like other shows do. We tell you how it is. And if Mike Schilt, if we thought that he messed up yesterday and was making the worst move ever, we would let you know about it. That's how you know this show is real, is that we tell you when it's good, we tell you when it's bad, we tell you when we agree, and we tell you when we disagree. We're not a pom-pom waving show that agrees with every single move the Padres make. We let you know how it is, and we're real about it. And yesterday, I'm sorry, but I'm not as upset about the move as everybody else, because it wasn't like he was facing Ohtani and Betts and Freeman. He was facing freaking Dalton Rushing. All right. And Dalton Rushing beat Estrada, and that's on Estrada.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, I'm trying to, here's the thing. Like, I can go tell you why they should have pitched David Morgan, but I'd be arguing with myself. Like, ultimately, you have to offer, like, my opinion is Jeremiah Estrada in that spot is easily justifiable. Not every decision Mike Schilt makes is easily justifiable. By the way, you have to remember that they're 15 or 20 games over 500. They were 24 games over 500 last year. Like, the guy's done a good job. We criticize him, to your point, as much as anyone. I don't like some of the stuff he says with the media. My whole issue with yesterday is the back and forth with Kevin Acee. It's not the decision to pitch Jeremiah Estrada. That's the crazy thing. I think if the back and forth never happened, I would just be talking about the wasted opportunity. They led 2-1. They had Nick Pivetta on the mound. Freddie Freeman changed the game, and so did Dalton Rushing. And the Dodgers won the game, but the Padres won the series. So, listen, let's see how they respond is what I would say. I think there's been way more conversation with the fan base and with the media than probably the clubhouse would even care to entertain. I guarantee when they get to Seattle, they're not like, man, holy moly, we let that one get away. Was that our season? That's
Can't believe he used Jeremiah Estrada against the bottom of the Dodgers.
I've lost faith in our skipper because he pitched Jeremiah Estrada, who entered the series like a 2 ERA.
Oh, I can't believe he let him face Dalton Rushing. Oh my gosh.
Let's see how they respond, is what I would say. And this is not an easy series. Forget about the Vetter Cup. This is not
the Vetter Cup. I forgot about that already.
Easy series where the Mariners are something like 14 or 15 over at home. They're pushing, obviously, for the postseason as well. They've got the number one catcher in baseball history in terms of single season home runs hit with Cal Raleigh and 49. So this is not an easy series. We'll see if the Padres can win it in Seattle beginning tonight. All right, Darren Smith is going to join us coming up at 3:30. Aaron Goldsmith, radio voice for the Mariners, will join us at 4:30. And Kevin Acee, our Padres insider, will join us at 5:30. We'll get your calls on the other side if you want to weigh in. What do you think? Did they get it wrong yesterday, or is it just extreme overreaction? 877-767-4760. That's 877-767-4760. This is John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, and live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, San Diego State football back Thursday. They'll take on Stony Brook. I love the way Brent spelled Stony Brook. Not just one misspelling, two. I'll explain in a moment. Snapdragon Stadium, our pregame coverage begins at 5, kick at 7. I'm your home for the Aztecs, San Diego Sports 760. Now, Stony Brook is, do you know how to spell Stony Brook? Don't look. Okay. Turn your mic on.
Stoney?
And
Stony?
Well, yeah. And then how do you spell Brook?
It's either Brook or Brooke.
Right. So which would it be?
Brook. E?
Ding. Oh, E.
No, I didn't.
So you're 0 for 2. So Brent put Stony Brook, Stony, like you said, and Brook like the name, like Brook, which would have an E on the end. It's actually Stony Brook.
Yeah, I knew that.
Like everyone knows, right?
It was easy.
It's like misspelling Ohio State.
It's called a radio bit to make me sound like an idiot.
Well, no, yes, but you didn't write this, did you?
I did not write that.
You did not write
I did in like 3 minutes.
And
spell check didn't underline it, so I was like,
those
okay,
are
we're cool.
words. I think those are words. Stony with an E is a word, and Brook with an E is a
Correct.
word. It's just not Stony Brook. We'll hear from Sean Lewis, by the way, coming up at 3:15. Darren Smith at 3:30. We're going to hear from Kevin Acer, Padres Insider, 5:30. Aaron Goldsmith will join us, the radio voice of the Mariners, at 4:30. Let's go to the phones. Eric has been very patient. He's been on hold for the last 20 or 30 minutes. If you want to weigh in, 877-767-4760. That's 877-767-4760. Eric, you're back with us here on John and Jim.
Awesome, guys. Thanks once again. Love listening.
Yeah, man.
Got 3 things. Yeah, 3 things. I'll be brief. I'll be quick. First one, the decision on Estrada. I think it's an overreaction, right? Because of the result, right? Number 2, huge win by the Padres over the weekend. I think the narrative on that we're hearing today, it'd be a lot different if the Padres would have split the first 2 and won yesterday. And then lastly, it might just be me, but for some strange reason or another, Freddie Freeman gives me more fear than any other batter in all of baseball. And it seems like he's always hitting home runs, hitting triples, doubles in the clutch. Now, I don't know about you guys, but do the Padres have a batter like that just strikes fear? I don't want to say opponents, but opponent fans at least. I know Charlie Blockman rings a bell. Thank goodness he retired, but now it seems to be Freddie Freeman.
Appreciate it, Eric. I mean, a batter that strikes fear, this is the slug conversation. Padres don't slug. I mean, Kevin, who'll join us at 5:30, wrote about it today. Dodgers do slug. Padres don't slug. Teams have the same record. Multiple ways to win. They've done it differently. There's no question about it. After 2 games, the Dodgers had 5 hits. Slug wasn't working. Yesterday, after the 6th inning, slug was working. So there's multiple ways to win. But no, do the Padres have the same slug in their lineup than the Dodgers? Absolutely not.
Freddie Freeman has torched the Padres recently.
Yeah, I mean, Freddie Freeman's going to be in the Hall of Fame.
He had 2 home runs the other day. He had a home run last weekend against the Padres. He's been great against the Padres. And he, by the way, look at his numbers over the last week. By the way, in Colorado, he was red hot coming into the series from the Colorado series, which they played before they came to San Diego. So he was red hot, you know. Now, if Jeremiah Estrada's in the game yesterday against Freddie Freeman and Freeman hits a 3-run homer,
it's different.
Then we're torching Mike Schultz.
Right, but that's not what happened.
Completely different. So I do think this boils down to an overreaction to want to just rip Mike Schilt. And I get it. I am not a Mike Schilt guy. I'm not going to defend Mike Schultz, but I'm also going to tell you, and I've told you since Mike Schultz been hired, while I don't like Mike Schultz post games and him speaking and listening to him is like nails on a chalkboard, dude is a winner, right? He wins a lot of baseball games. And I've always said, thank goodness he's a good manager, because if he wasn't, his shtick would not fly. So thank goodness he's a good manager. And, you know, rarely has he had in-game decisions where I would just think that it's the dumbest thing ever. Rarely. Now, postseason, we'll see. Postseason, he did not have a good series against the Dodgers. In fact, it started out very poorly for him, and I think he got outmanaged by Dave Roberts severely. We'll see what happens this year in the postseason as well.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, when it comes down to the conversation, like, do the Padres have a lineup that instills fear like the Dodgers instill fear in opposing pitchers? I think the answer is no, because I think the Dodgers lineup is better, but that doesn't mean the Dodgers team is better. I think the Padres pitching proved, for example, Friday, Saturday, it can quiet LA's bats. I mean, they had 5 hits combined in 2 games. They had 6 hits combined into the 6th inning before Freddie Freeman hit that home run. So I think just because the Dodgers can outslug you doesn't mean they're going to win the World Series. If it was a slugging conversation, they probably would. They're first or second in Major League Baseball in slug. But that doesn't guarantee them that they're going to win the World Series. Like, they're going to need pitching. And by the way, they're getting some pitching now. As they get healthier, the Snells, the Yamamotos, right? Like, some of the pieces that they're getting back have obviously helped them. But I don't think just because of what happened yesterday, I'm like, well, Padres can't beat the Dodgers or the Padres can't win in the postseason. But the question about slug has been with us all season long about the Padres. I think they addressed it to some extent with Laureano and O'Hearn, but yesterday they scored 2 runs. They got to be better than that if they want to win consistently.
Yeah, and the problem with the Padres having no home run power up and down their lineup consistently is that in a situation like yesterday, when the Dodgers hit all those home runs in the 7th and 8th inning, you don't have an opportunity there because you need to score runs quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And this team has a hard time doing that. They have to scratch and claw to sometimes put up 4 or 5 runs on the board.
Right.
So when you're down by 4 runs in the 7th inning, you don't have the 3-run homer in your back pocket like the Dodgers do, right? To make it a game.
Right.
So like putting 3 runs on the board the following inning to kind of answer back, you have to go station to station and hope that you string across a bunch of consecutive hits. You don't have a 3-run homer in you like the Dodgers do.
Yeah, and even the Dodgers, I mean, let's be honest. If they trail a game 5-2 in the 7th inning, what percent of the time are they winning? If they trail a game 7-2 in the 7th inning, what percent of the time are they winning? 8-2, what percent of the time are they? Very rarely.
Very rarely.
It's hard to come back from 3 runs down.
But at least though,
innings.
With the Dodgers and other teams in baseball that have home run power,
you believe it's possible.
100%.
Yeah.
If there's 2 on with 2 outs and Ohtani's at the plate,
Oh, absolutely.
or Freddie Freeman, or Muncy, or Hernandez, Smith, like even Mookie Betts, even though he's had an awful year, right? You still believe that 3-run homer is there. San Diego, like if Tatis is at the plate right now and there's 2 on and 2 out and they're down by 2 runs,
I'm like, is he going to reach on infield single? Is he going to walk?
He's probably going to walk.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even think Tatis believes in himself to hit a 3-run home run right now.
I think Manny might be the only one in this lineup. And you know what? Honestly, I would probably put O'Hearn and maybe Sheets in there as well right now.
Yeah.
Maybe Liriano.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yep.
But those players, this is no knock on them. They're not, considered home run threats like Ohtani or Freeman or these other players in the Schwarber, Harper.
No, you're right.
Right? They're not that level of threat in the lineup. They can still do it, but it just happens very rarely with this team.
I think at the end of the day, for me, it boils down to, man, you had Nick Pivetta on the mound at home, where he's been brilliant, and you had a lead. It wasn't just Nick Pivetta on the mound. You're getting the Elias Diaz home run, right? The stars have aligned. You lead in the 6th inning. And not only do you lose, I mean, you didn't have a shot there late because of how it got away from you against your bullpen. We'll talk about this super pen on the other side. Plus, we're going to hear from Sean Lewis coming up next hour. Darren Smith joins us live at 3:30 to talk about SDFC. Kevin Acey will join us at 5:30. Hour 2 of John and Jim comes your way next on San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app.
All right, this update is brought to you by Staples Stores. Padres took 2 or 3 from the Dodgers over the weekend. They're now tied in the National League West with 31 games to play. Dodgers do hold the tiebreaker over San Diego as they won the season series. Tonight, the Padres start a 3-game series in Seattle against the Mariners. In SDFC, they have clinched their postseason playoff spot with a draw on Saturday night. They're the first team in MLS to clinch a spot in the postseason. Next up, they'll take on LAFC Sunday night. Of course, you can listen to the match right here on San Diego Sports 760. And San Diego State kicks off their season on Thursday at home against Stony Brook. You listen to that football game right here on your home of the Aztecs, San Diego Sports 760 as well. I know everyone's looking to save this summer. Well, at Staples, your back-to-school budget is saved by the button, the easy button. I'm talking Staples supplies as low as 25 cents. I might have to check those out after this, John. Pencil that in. Staples, that was easy.
Well, it was better than last weekend, taking 2 of 3 from the Dodgers and a tie in the West. What does it all mean? Plus a look ahead to the trip up to Seattle. Now live from the studios of San Diego Sports 760, it's John and Jim.
Hi, San Diego and Southern California. What's going on? Hour 2, John and Jim. We've got a really good next few hours lined up for you. Darren Smith, friend of the show. Of course, you hear him on SDFC calls right here on 760. He'll join us at 3:30. We've got Kevin Acee joining us at 5:30. Aaron Goldsmith, who has been with the Mariners for a long time, is going to join us. He calls games for Seattle. He's going to join us coming up at 4:30. So a lot to react to. We're going to hear from Sean Lewis coming up in about 10 or 15 minutes as well. Just to put a bow for the time being on the Padres conversation, where they are. 10 series left in the year. Dodgers, 10 series left in the year. Padres, according to analytics, easiest remaining schedule. Dodgers, I just saw from Juan Gonzalez, 5th easiest as it sits right now. In baseball. The bow I would put now is that I think the reason there's so much anger today is a lot of people are like, well, with this bullpen, you can't lose when you're tied or ahead. Like, this bullpen is so elite that every time you hand them the ball, they have to be perfect. But it doesn't work like that, because these 5 relievers that everyone's talked about for the last month, ever since they added in Mason Miller, have combined for an ERA over 2.
Yeah.
You know what that means? That means every 4.5 innings, they allow 1 earned run, which means it's going to happen, and it's going to happen, and it's going to happen. There's going to be nights you're going to go 4 or 5 scoreless innings. It's going to be another night, you allow a run. So if you're asking them to be perfect, I've got news for you. They're not going to be. Are they going to be really, really, really good if they live up to capabilities? Yes. But, man, if the expectation is they got to hold every single lead or keep every single game tied, then I don't know how realistic it's going to be. They're going to have a very special October for that to happen.
Hasn't it felt like the bullpen hasn't, I'm not going to say settled in, but gotten a groove where it's like, man, the bullpen has gone 17 consecutive scoreless innings or something like that?
Right. I get the point, and I feel like there's been some maneuvering with, like, you might see Jason Adam, I'm making this up, in like a 5th inning, and then you see Jason Adam in an 8th inning.
Yeah, there's not a clear defined role with everybody in this bullpen other than Robert Suarez, really.
Right, exactly.
I mean, everybody's up to pitch anywhere. 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th.
Right.
Suarez gets the 9th, whether you like it or not. I mean, Schultz gonna be faithful to his guys, right? But as far as the bridge to get to Suarez, it doesn't feel like it's defined. It feels like it's kind of all over the place. And Schultz going on matchups, and he's going with, hey, if the game says that we need to go to Jason Adam in the 5th, we'll go to Jason Adam in the 5th.
The lanes.
They love the word lanes.
He loves the word lanes.
That's popped up recently this year. I'm like,
you think they got to get a bowling sponsorship, man.
Just lanes everywhere.
Yeah.
But that's the truth that you know, there's not these defined roles with the bullpen pieces now. They're all over the place other than Robert Suarez. Do you think, because guys love to know their roles.
They do.
That's the one thing in baseball and sports is like, give me my role so I know what it is so I can try to master that role.
Right.
And right now, you know, Mason Miller, we thought he was going to be the 8th inning guy. They've used him in the 7th. They've used him in, like, they're not just only using him in the 8th. They're not only using Jason Adam in the 7th. They're not only using, you know, Estrada and Morhone in the 6th or the 5th. Like,
that's a good point.
These guys have been pitched everywhere except for Robert Suarez. And hell, Robert Suarez even pitched the 8th inning against the Dodgers.
Yeah, this is a point I made actually following their game 2 win Saturday night that we said, and I said this and I was confident in it, that after a deadline with this much maneuvering, give it time. And I felt like they'd hit their stride offensively. Like all of a sudden you were seeing O'Hearn and Sheets. Now maybe a product of injury, like Jackson Merrill was out, but you had this lineup that was producing a little bit. But to your point on the usage of their bullpen, when you have this, I think Trevor Hoffman said with us, this embarrassment of riches.
Yeah.
Do you necessarily know where to turn when everywhere you turn in theory should work out? So, and then how does that impact these relievers? Because they aren't robots and they are human beings. And you hear Mike Schultz say that. So I would like to think that by the end of August, they would have all settled into like, this is my role. This is the team we have. This is no longer about the trade deadline. This is no longer about figuring out how do I get to the ballpark. Like they should be, this is go time now. Now, to their credit, they've played well. Like since the trade deadline, they've been good. Since the All-Star break, they've been good. But I do still have that feeling that you just mentioned that like they're still fully figuring out who they are as a team post-headline.
They are.
And it's like an unfinished product.
Yeah, it kind of feels that way. Now, don't get us wrong. They've been playing really good baseball.
I mean, yeah. Exactly.
I know Mike Schultz would argue, "Whoa, did you say really good? They played exceptional baseball, right? You hear that with Kevin Acee? He said, you guys have been playing great baseball."
He said great, right?
And then he goes, "No, we've been playing exceptional or something along those lines. Excellent baseball, right?" It's like, Mike, bro, I stop. Like, you're not. Stop trying to be this guy. You're not.
Right. I mean, they've outplayed the Dodgers by 9 games since July 3rd. I mean,
yeah, they've been playing really good. They've been great.
Yeah, the second half Schill thing. I mean, it's not just like an adage when you actually do it. So, but I'm with you. It doesn't need to get defensive like that. That makes no sense. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. They've played well. If they continue to play like they've played, they can outrun the Dodgers.
Right.
Like now, you don't control what the Dodgers do, but the Dodgers since July 3rd are 9 games worse than the Padres. You got to be 1 game better than them over the next 31 games.
And they start a 3-game series tonight against the Reds. That series will be in, where is that? It's the Dodger Stadium.
I think it's the Dodger Stadium.
It's at Dodger Stadium tonight.
Yeah.
So you got Hunter Green pitching for the Reds, which is a good thing for the Padres. So go Reds over the next 3 days.
Absolutely.
You take 2 or 3 from Seattle. Reds take 2 or 3 from the Dodgers. There we go.
Yeah, interesting stretch because we've talked about the home road dynamic with the Padres.
Yep.
Great at home, one of the best in the sport. Not as good on the road, 4 games under 500. 9 of their next 12 are on the road. So Seattle, Minnesota, and Colorado. Like you're not playing baseball's best teams. You're playing Minnesota and Colorado, and you have Baltimore at home. So you're not playing great teams here. But again, 9 of your next 12 are on the road. They're under 500 this year on the road. This is one of those critical points of the season where I think you're fine if you can stay step for step with them, but you fall another couple of games behind at some point, you're not going to feel overly confident without that tiebreaker.
Yeah, if we get to the middle of September and you're like 2 back.
Yeah, like, well, that's really 3 back, and now you're asking for a lot.
Yeah, and then I'm sure the Dodgers with their schedule, I don't know exactly when they play, like the Rockies and whatnot, but like it's you're going to be counting on some really bad teams to help you out.
Yeah, and you don't want to do that. And I still think that they're not yet counting on that. Like I said, I mean, you look up tonight, if they win and the Dodgers lose, you control your own destiny.
Yeah, you're game up. There you go.
Or the opposite happens and you're kind of 2 games back without the tiebreaker.
Or we get to Thursday, an off day, and they're still tied.
Exactly. So, I mean, there's a lot to still be determined. I would say the advantage of tonight, or the reason to take advantage of tonight, is the Padres are facing excellent starting pitching in the series Tuesday and Wednesday. They're going to face Luis Castillo. He's got a 3.5. They're going to face Brian Wu, who's terrific. He's got a sub-3 ERA. Tonight, they're facing a righty by the name of Bryce Miller, who I think they saw previously. He's got a 5.87 ERA. So it's JP Sears, Bryce Miller. But you look at the starting pitchers with Luis Castillo and Brian Wu, and this is the game for me. We talk about this sometimes in the series. This is the game you need to find a way to get. I get it. Sears hasn't been like some all-star, but facing Bryce Miller, hopefully they start the series well. Seattle's a very good team at home, a very good team in general. So this is not going to be an easy series to win 2 out of 3 would be my guess.
And the team has power up and down their lineup.
Yes, they do.
Something that the Padres don't have. Cal Raleigh, he's already set a single season record for most homers by a catcher. And it's not even September 1st yet.
Yeah, in the history of the sport.
49 this year.
Right.
He's got a full month to play.
Yesterday.
Get 60. It's crazy.
It is crazy.
Julio Rodriguez, Randy Rosarena, Eugenio Suarez. You also have Josh Naylor in that lineup. Polanco, like they got some thump up and down that lineup. And the Mariners are a good home team. So this series is going to be difficult. And oh, by the way, if you're just looking at recent history versus the two teams, Seattle has owned the Padres over the last couple of years.
Including in 3 games at Petco. They swept the Padres this year.
And I want to say they swept them last year too, or they took 2 or 3. I don't fully remember, but I know that Seattle also played very well against the Padres last year, if I'm not mistaken.
I kind of remember that as well. I'm going to find it very quickly. In 2024, the Padres against the Mariners, according to Baseball Reference, against Seattle, the Padres were 1-3 against Seattle.
There you go.
So I think it was 2 2-game series, and they went 1-3 last year against the Mariners. So yeah. I mean, I don't think it's an easy series. And again, we're going to talk to Aaron Goldsmith about it coming up at 4:30, and Kevin Acee about it coming up at 5:30. And of course, the Vetter Cup is on the line, if anyone cares.
I only care if the Padres sweep, because if the Padres sweep, man, we're going to be celebrating on Thursday potentially, because then we'd go to a tiebreaker. And if the Padres have the hardest hit ball in the series, is that right? Or
no,
run differential.
Yeah.
So we need the Padres to put up like a 10 spot every game this week against the Mariners, because this Vetter Cup,
and keep them from scoring like 9.
Right, exactly. Because Seattle put up
scores.
A boatload of runs against the Padres.
Did that? I don't even remember this series. I'm trying to find it. When was this series? June?
Yeah, it was May, actually.
It was in May?
Yeah, they won 5-1, 4-1, 6-1.
That's a lot of run differential.
It is.
Think about that. 4, 3, 5.
It's 15.
They're minus 12 heading into the series. Just win some games. Just win this series in Seattle. All right. Sean Lewis spoke with the media earlier today. San Diego State gets underway Thursday night. Snapdragon Stadium. You can hear their first game and every game right here on San Diego Sports 760. It's the Aztecs against Stony Brook. Thursday at 7 with pregame coverage beginning at 5. We'll hear from Sean Lewis. Sean Lewis kind of commenting on Sean Lewis. You're going to hear that coming up on the other side. Plus, Darren Smith, SDFC. He's been on the call all season long. He'll join us to talk about this incredible run to the postseason for SDFC at 3:30. We're here until 6. This is John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, and live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, hey guys, it is John and Jim again for the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the Players Place, and now open. Got to check it out, the hotel and spa at Jamul Casino Resort. It's the next level of luxury. It's arrived, and you can treat yourself to a stunning new stay, rooftop relaxation, indulgent spa treatments, all the thrills of Jamul Casino Resort, now all in one unforgettable destination.
And now also open is the all-new Jamul 23 with endless dining. Every day you can savor San Diego's ultimate endless dining experience at the all-new Jamul 23, from their world-famous lobster brunch served every morning to their VIP endless dining experiences each evening. Indulge in chef-curated specialties like seafood, prime cuts, and decadent desserts, all with stunning panoramic views.
You'll love their food throughout the property, including a Tony Gwynn Sports Pub. You're going to catch all the sports action there. It's the ultimate sports showdown. You can catch the Padres live, plus just terrific food. Trust us, over at Tony Gwynn Sports Pub, where fandom meets fantastic at the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the Players Place. All right, John and Jim, Padres lineup is out. And it's your typical lineup they've been using, especially against right-handed pitching. They're facing, by the way, right, these 3 games.
Good.
And the bad is Seattle in its last 22 home games, 17-5. Best mark in the American League.
Ooh.
Now, they haven't played well. I guess it's been on the road. They're 3-7 in their last 10. Just in general, they're 9 games over 500. They're currently the 3rd wild card.
Right.
Now, they're 3 games up on it, which is good. But they're the 3rd wild card, so they don't have crazy margin. And they're at home where they've been just rolling. I mean, 17-5. They've been completely rolling over the last 2 months at home.
Yeah, they've gotten hot at home. They're hitting home runs. That place is packed.
Yeah.
It's a great ballpark.
It is right downtown.
From looking on the outside in. I've never been before, but that place looks awesome. And the atmosphere is great.
And they've been looking for a winner for forever, as we know.
Yep.
But Tatis, Arise, Machado, O'Hearn, Bogart, Sheets, Laureano, Cronenworth, and Fermin for JP Sears here tonight. All right, we mentioned this, that San Diego State's going to get its season underway. Obviously, critical year like they all are. Year 2 for Sean Lewis. So I was there today. He spoke with the media for, I would say, over 30 minutes. And there were a couple of really fascinating parts of the conversation, one of which, the question which came from, I don't even know who it came from, but the question was along the lines of, how is Sean Lewis improving as a head coach?
Was it Hacksaw?
It may have actually been. I'm not sure. I honestly have no idea. But how is Sean Lewis improving as a head coach?
I sure hope so. I mean, I ask our guys to improve and compete each and every single day. And if I'm not different and if I'm not better and I'm not improving, then I'm a fraud. And there's going to be a lot of people that Kirk will point out or that you guys will point out that will say certain things about me on the message boards that I know aren't true, right? But the one thing that I'm never going to have anyone be able to say about me is that, like, I don't mean what I say and I don't say what I mean, right? And so the way that we finished was never going to be appropriate, right? And never going to be acceptable. And so there was I think at one point in time, you asked me at the beginning of this deal about the autopsy of last season as the program as a whole, right? It was more standing in front of the mirror and looking at myself, right? And what we could do and how we could be better. And some of the decisions that I made a year ago that probably weren't authentically true to who I was and what I believed in, right? And so getting back grounded into, who I am and what winning requires, no matter where you're coaching, right? And again, doubling back and doubling down on the people, the connection, the unity, the team, and we over me is something that, we've been very, very intentional on, mostly because of looking myself in the mirror, right? And me being better so that our team is better and our program is better and I'm serving and I'm leading better. Everyone that is here, and that I have the honor and the privilege to hopefully impact in a positive manner.
Pretty honest from Sean Lewis there, as honest as you can get about his assessment of himself. And I did not expect him to say, if I don't want to be known as a fraud.
Yeah, I thought it was the way he said it is what really stuck out when he said it. I was in the room because he's like, are you improving as a head coach? He's like, well, I'm asking them to improve. So if I'm not, it's like, then I'm the fraud.
Right.
Which was a really interesting thing to say now. And I respect the fact, by the way, a lot of people in these situations, they blame others. You know what I mean? Like, first year, I was left with a tough roster. Like, there's so many things you could say coming off a disappointing first year where you don't put it on yourself. That's not what he's done. He's done it with us, and he's done it with the media. He's pinned it on himself. So it starts with me. He was asked today about the penalties. He said, starts with me. When I watch what happened last year and how that played out with all the procedural stuff, said, it's me. It's on me. He said, we've spent 220 days on it. Doesn't mean we're going to be perfect and not commit a penalty, but it's obviously an important part heading into the year. So listen, everyone's optimistic before the start of a season. All of the teams are optimistic before the start of the season. Now the question becomes, where do they show growth and improvement? And how do we see it? Where does it transpire? Do we see it from the moment they take the field against Stony Brook? Does it take time or not? We're going to find out in about 72 hours. But I do think there's more reason for optimism considering the return of all these pieces and adding the veteran quarterbacks. Like, I kind of think it starts there. We'll see. Darnay had me on yesterday. I guess he didn't text you, or maybe you.
Wait, what?
Did you not get the text, or did you not reply?
Hold
It was
on.
on Sports Wrap. Yeah, no big deal.
What? I did not get any text.
It's a good 6 minutes sit down with Darnay yesterday. Maybe.
Must be nice.
Good 6 minutes on the Aztecs.
Wow. I'm going to have to blow up the group chat now.
Hopefully, AZ tweets watched NBC7 last night.
If we're not talking Aztec football for 7 hours straight, what's the point, right?
But I talked to Darnay and he said, like, what's the reason for optimism? I said, well, they brought all these pieces back and they improved their offensive and defensive lines and they've got veteran quarterbacks. So, like, that to me is where I would start. And I think in talking to him both on the air and off the air, he kind of agrees. Like, with the offensive line and the defensive line, it starts there. They seem to be both improved.
I said at the end of last year that year 2 of Sean Lewis was critically important to the future of the program under Sean Lewis.
Sure.
I can give him year 1. All right. Now it's not helped things. Like, he's going to still have to prove a lot to this fan base that his words and actions align, right? He is saying what he wants to accomplish here, saying what he wants to do, and they're going to have to go out on the field and prove it and do it. This thing's not built overnight. It's not going to be this year. Oh yeah, we believe Sean Lewis. He's going to have to prove it and show it. And he knows that. You just listen to him there. He knows that he has to go out and he has to build and recruit and put a team together that can win a bunch of football games. And I think that this year it has to be, I would say, not like a 10-2 season, but a pretty significant jump from 3 wins. You got, I think a year that I'm looking for from a Sean Lewis led football team, at minimum 6-6. Like, you got to get to a bowl game. I think a bowl game has to happen, because then you now have the foundation for, hopefully in year 3, you jumped from 3 wins to 6 wins to 8-9 wins, and now you're hopefully competing for now a Pac-12 conference championship. But 6-6 has to be the baseline for this year at minimum. Bowl game. Anything better than that, I think that's really good, and it's a really good step for the program going forward. And he's going to have to prove, and this team's going to have to prove, and this program's going to have to prove to this fan base, hey, we are exciting. We are going to win football games. Come and watch us play, because you can't just talk about it. You got to go prove it.
Yeah, he basically said as much today, saying that the expectation, I mean, he said it definitively a year ago. Oftentimes coaches don't want to talk about wins and losses. He said definitively the expectation is to make a bowl game. So did the players that met with the media earlier today. All right, Darren Smith on SDFC. What a season it's been for the expansion franchise, the fastest in MLS history to get to the postseason as an expansion club. Darren Smith has been on the call all season long. He joins us next on John and Jim.
All right, this update is brought to you by SDG&E. Padres taking 2 or 3 from the Dodgers over the weekend. They're now tied atop the NL West with 31 games to play. The Dodgers do hold the tiebreaker over San Diego as they, of course, won the season series. Tonight, the Padres start a 3-game series in Seattle versus the Mariners, while the Dodgers start a 3-game series at home against the Cincinnati Reds. SDFC on Saturday night clinch a playoff berth. First team in MLS to clinch a playoff spot this season. Next up, they'll take on LAFC on Sunday night. And San Diego State, they kick off their football season on Thursday night at home against Stony Brook. Of course, you can listen to that matchup right here on your home of the Aztecs, San Diego Sports 760. In peak wildfire season, at last resort, SDG&E may need to shut off power in specific areas for public safety. Learn more about public safety power shutoffs at sdgne.com/PSPS.
All right, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. I do want Darren to know that both Jim and Brent spelled Stony Brook because Darren's from out east. They spelled Stony Brook STONEYBROOK.
You know what, John?
Just wanted Darren to know that. Not that it's like Ohio State.
And after this week, I'll never have to spell it again.
Probably true.
But I didn't have to spell it like on paper. You just told me to spell it and I messed it up.
Darren,
so I'm sorry.
Aren't you so thankful you do what you do right now? All right, Darren Smith, Section 9, 1904. He's been on the call for SDFC all season long. They have LAFC Sunday night at 7:45. Pre-match coverage begins at 7:15. Where do we even start? I want to start with this. What's it been like all season long from your seat to watch this play out where you have the fastest expansion team in MLS history to a playoff berth? It's just been unbelievable, right?
Yeah, it has been. And it's been a lot of fun to be around it and just to seeing it continue to grow in confidence, you know, from where it was early on where you thought, okay, they come firing out of the gates and you could sort of spin some of their early season results because nobody really knew who any of these players were. Who are these guys? They're from Denmark. What's going on here? Who's Mikey Bottas, right? So there's a lot of that early on in the season where you're starting to think, okay, well, this is cool. This is a great way to start. But it's probably going to tail off at some point just because, you know, who can put together a team like this in that short amount of time. But I think it's just the evolution of it, quite honestly. And it is watching the players grow with confidence. It is even watching some of the speed bumps where the players are getting hurt. New guys are coming in. Different guys are playing different roles. And it just seems to be getting better. And they're constantly being challenged by Mikey, the head coach, to get better, to accept all these things that are happening and figure out a way to funnel it into more success somewhere down the road. So I don't know that I thought we were going to be talking about record-setting stuff, but, you know, here we are now, already having clinched a playoff spot, the only team in MLS to have done it. And, you know, they really do think like the best is yet to come over the 6 remaining games and then into the postseason.
What team scares you the most as far as matchup-wise? Because now they've clinched a playoff berth. We can talk playoffs and matchups. Like, is there a team out there that kind of scares you in the Western Conference in hopes that SDFC maybe avoids them in the playoffs?
Well, that one we just saw on Saturday was pretty good to me. Now, like that situation for them is, you know, Portland has been really good at preventing the goals from going in, but they've not been good at scoring the goals. So kind of a big deal. And you know, they went out there, you know, the soccer equivalent, MLS equivalent of the trade deadline is called the transfer window. And they went out there and they added 3 really, really good players. Now they don't have a ton of time, but you know, they all got thrown right into the mix Saturday night. All 3 of them started. And if that team could figure it itself out in terms of scoring more goals without compromising itself, that might be problematic. But the thing about the postseason, guys, like any of these sports, right? It's like what we talk about with baseball all the time. You know, Inter Miami was the best regular season team ever in Major League Soccer history last year. Lionel Messi in that group, they won the Supporters Shield. They had more regular season points than any team. They didn't get out of their first round. So playoffs, best of 3 series, kind of a crapshoot. So, you know, that team, though, and having to think about traveling to go up to Portland, who really knows? It's turf. The weather could be dodgy. So I wouldn't mind avoiding that one if we can. But, again, everybody's still got to get there. And I think even just getting into the postseason is, you know, these guys aren't going to be afraid of anybody.
Darren Smith with us right now, John and Jim. Again, SDFC, LAFC, Sunday night, 7:45 right here on San Diego Sports 760.
Yeah, baby. Late game.
Under
late
the
night
lights.
Sunday game.
What are the particulars there, Darren? Because wasn't that just recently announced the start time?
Yeah, like like noon today. I found out. I was like, wait a second here, Labor Day weekend. Okay, at the BMO Stadium at 7:45, which means kickoff's probably going to be like 7:50ish. I don't know. I guess we're just getting the late holiday window out there. So I don't know if it's something dictated by television, but yeah, we'll be on 7:60 kind of later than we have been all season long.
Well, I sympathize, as you know, calling Aztec games, right? A lot of those 7:30.
I know, you know what it's like.
I want to say they actually play, well, week 2 in Pullman is at 7:15, but there's some 7:30 starts in there as well. Here's my question for you, because they're right there in the conversation right now for the Supporter Shield, right? Most points in Major League Soccer. Can you describe, I mean, to us specifically, or maybe people that haven't followed soccer as closely as others have, I mean, that's an amazing accomplishment, is it not? It's not regarded as much as such. Let's say in Major League Baseball, you win 104 games. But if you don't win a World Series, I don't think the 104 games has the same value as the value of a Supporter Shield, right, in soccer?
Yeah, I think that's fair. And you know, it's not a participation trophy, you know, as some might think. Some might say, wow, Supporter Shield, that sounds kind of stupid. You know, what is this? Like, is it just something that you give away? You know, I think part of the, you know, the purpose of having it is that most soccer leagues around the world don't have playoffs. So what you do during the regular season determines a champion. So MLS didn't want to drift completely away from that. It didn't have the Supporter Shield when the league started back in 1996. It took a few years. They added it retroactively for the teams that were the best during the regular season. So, you know, not only do you actually literally get something for it, you know, you could say now, okay, cool, we've won this thing. We were the best team. There is this great recognition, but there's also a reward that comes with it, in that if you are the best team during the regular season, you qualify for one of these tournaments, right? Soccer's kind of crazy. It's got all these overlapping tournaments. Leagues Cup, we just went through it. U.S. Open Cup's another one, but CONCACAF Champions League is another one. And if you win Supporter Shield, you qualify. You get one of the bids, automatic bids, to go to CONCACAF Champions League, which is pretty prestigious. It's as prestigious as any North American team or Central American team, as prestigious a tournament as any of these teams have. And you get to go and play in places like Mexico, Costa Rica, Central America, the Caribbean, et cetera. And there's money attached to that. So it's not just, okay, cool, we're recognizing somebody for what they did during the regular season. I don't think it's perfect. It does have its flaws, but it also has its reward in that that's a really big deal if you can qualify for a tournament like that anytime, but especially in your first year in Major League Soccer.
Yeah, it's just an incredible season, and it's an incredible time here in San Diego. I mean, you got SDFC, they clinched a playoff berth. They're in first place in the Western Conference. Oh, and by the way, the Padres are tied for first place in the National League West as well. It's just a crazy time for sports here. So moving to the Padres here, Darren.
I mean, how about Saturday, by the way? How about 70,000 plus people at sporting events, you know, 2 different sporting events, like separated by 5-6 miles or whatever it is. Crazy.
And within, I want to say, minutes of the end of the Padres game and the start of SDFC, and they clinched a playoff berth, at halftime on Saturday?
Yeah, I know. It wasn't quite as dramatic. I was in for Adrian. Adrian was off doing Chargers, you know, and I thought about this all week, you know, end of the game, SDFC, win or a draw, and we're going to go to the playoffs. I was like, I was going to say something profound, and it was going to go into the archives. And then there's like 12 different playoff scenarios, and one of them hit like at halftime.
I saw your tweet. I was like, that's a lot.
Yeah. Like took a little wind out of the sails. I was like, yeah, man, I really wanted to say something that was going to be on the highlights on 760. And like, that didn't happen.
Yeah. Well, the main thing is that they clinched a playoff berth and they're in.
Of course.
But moving over to the Padres, they finally won a series against the Dodgers this weekend. Yesterday, slipped away from them. We've had this Jeremiah Estrada conversation all weekend long, or all day long, excuse me. The final 31 games, what is your thoughts on the stretch run here for the Padres?
Well, what did you guys decide on Estrada? I was listening a little bit earlier. I feel like you guys are both on the same page.
I kind of thought, I need your thoughts.
Well, I mean, I'm not a big Schultz defender, but I thought this was a defensible decision. Now, you know, today, John Gennaro brought up a good point. He goes, well, why did Schultz put him in there? Did he put him in there to prove a point, or did he put him in there because he thought he was the best choice in that spot? You know, and if the answer is he's trying to get him in there so that he can feel good about himself against the Dodgers, and that's not like Mike Schultz ever going to admit this, but you know, if that's why he really did it, is he was trying to get some confidence for Jeremiah Estrada, I don't know that that's the right time to do it, but I think it's defensible, and I think he's had success against the Dodgers in the past, so I'm not as down on the decision, even though the people who are opposed to it clearly have the result on their side. So I don't know. How do you guys see that?
That's 100%. I feel the same way. My only issue is the defensiveness that Mike Schilt shows postgame.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's innocuous. Kevin is not asking questions. You know Kevin better than I do.
Right.
But he's not being like, gotcha. Like, it wasn't like some crazy line.
Yeah.
He's just looking for the quote. He's looking for the explanation. I think it's a completely, he's doing his job. Mike's doing his job. I just felt like that was the problem for me. It's just, he's so defensive. Like, buddy,
Right.
he's just asking a question. It wasn't that crazy.
I mean,
question.
Estrada handled it a million times better than
yes.
Schilt did, you know, and he's the one that had to go out there and wear it. So I don't know. That makes me wonder if Schilt was maybe thinking, that he was just trying to do it because he felt like he had to get the guy back out there. It's the last time you're facing them, and you don't want this to linger around in case it's a postseason series. But I don't know. The next 31. I mean, I still think obviously the division is in play.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you sort of still, have that sitting there looking right in front of you. And, I know the schedule gets tricky with Seattle and Milwaukee, I think, and the Mets. So, but there's a lot of wins out there as well.
Yeah. And look, if you can't get the number 9 hitter out and Dalton Rushing, like that to me is more on Estrada than Schilt. I understand the reasoning for it. It wasn't like he put him out there against Ohtani and Freeman. Like he put him against the bottom of the order, and he walked Conforto. He gave up a 3-run shot to Dalton Rushing. That's on Estrada, man. Like he's got to be better than that.
Yeah. And again, I mean, he's a guy that you trusted last year in the postseason. He was great against the Dodgers. Didn't give up an earned run in 3-4 innings, something like that. So, he's one of your guys, but if your motivation for going out there was, oh man, I don't know, he might be wavering a little bit, then maybe that's not exactly the right rationale behind it. But I don't expect Mike Schultz ever going to admit that to us.
And the crazy part is, like, there's a good percentage chance that they don't even face the Dodgers again. Like they have the next time they would face them, would be probably at earliest the NLCS, which would be. I mean, that'd be incredible, but
you'd sign up for it.
Yeah, exactly. You'd sign up for that.
Darren, real quick before you go,
I still like him more than Morgan, but that's just me.
Yeah. Again, it's like, after we know the end result, that's where it's so easy to second guess,
love hindsight,
And I mean, they play 162 times. It's not always going to work out. Darren, before you go, because you're staying busy, obviously, tell us more. I know we've asked you about this before, but the work you're doing at section1904.com for San Diego sports fans. Tell our listeners a little bit about what you're doing each and every day. You guys are doing a ton.
Yeah, we are. I mean, it's crazy that doing a 1-hour show is somehow busier than like 3 or 4 hour shows. We're doing it Monday through Friday, and we add on some bonus content on the weekends. We're trying to keep up with the John and Jims of the world. We're putting out a ton of content out there, and giving people an opportunity to to just hear myself, John Gennaro, talk a little bit about the things that are happening. We're allowed to take some positions maybe that are a little different, than some of the positions that you could take. We can focus in on the things that we really want to talk about. We can, express ourselves in ways perhaps that we couldn't always on other platforms. So, it's just a really cool thing. It's a cool way for us to, continue to be involved, be out there a little bit. It's Monday through Friday. It's at section1904.com. We're looking for a San Diego State football guest this week. Hint, hint. I don't know if anybody would be available to come on and join the podcast, but
Jim,
if you know of anybody, I'd be happy to hear.
Jim doesn't do appearances.
I
like
nominate
that.
John Schaefer.
I'll do it. Darnay had me on last night, and Jim got all offended because he wasn't asked. But I'm like, he had me on to talk San Diego State.
Let's be real here. I probably would have said, you know what, John, you can do it yourself. It's okay.
But yeah, I'd love to join you. Seriously.
Oh, okay.
So
I was asking for Jim, but or Fletch.
I love it, man.
Man. I mean, I can't believe college football is here. Like, what a time with SDSC and the postseason and Padres right there, tied for first, and here comes season number 2 for Sean Lewis. What a lucky group of people you are.
It's a problem when you go like dual screen Hawaii Stanford Padres Dodgers. That's how you know you have a problem when you're watching Hawaii Stanford and Padres Dodgers. Darren, keep up the good work again for our listeners. Check out section1904.com and text me, and I'd love to join you. Thanks, Darren.
Thanks, guys.
All right, good stuff. And again, you can listen to SDFC on Sunday night at LAFC 7:45 pre-match at 7:15. We're going to get to Is That Good? The best and worst of the sports weekend on the other side. Kevin Acee at 5:30. John and Jim. All right, the iHeartRadio Music Festival is back. Live performances by John Fogerty, Mariah Carey, and more. September 19th and 20th at T-Mobile in Vegas. 2 nights, one stage. Tickets at AXS.com. While the world is listening on iHeartRadio, you could be there. 3 chances every weekday for you to win your trip for 2 plus $1,000 spending money. Next chance to text and win happens at 5 p.m. right here on San Diego Sports 760. Get all the info at sportssd.com/festival. We've got the wrap coming up. We have Aaron Goldsmith, broadcaster for the Mariners at 4:30. Kevin Acee will join us coming up at 5:30 p.m. But it is a Monday, so let's get to this.
Ramon Laureano continues to show that he may be one of the best acquisitions this year at the deadline. Arguably, actually not arguably, he has been the best acquisition that AJ Preller has ever made at the deadline as far as position players goes. Because right now, John, in 22 games for the Padres, he's hit .325 with a .942 OPS, 4 home runs, 15 RBIs, 3 doubles, and 2 triples. Brent, is that good? Incredible.
And he robbed a grand slam.
Just that.
Yeah, just that. No big deal.
Now, on the other side, this guy's also been robbing grand slams. Fernando Tatis Jr. He hasn't been hitting home runs, though.
No.
How about this? His last home run was July 24th. Now, today is past the 24th of August. It's the 25th. You know what that means? He has not hit a home run in over a month. Is that good?
No, he's not good. Are you kidding me?
That is insane.
That's not good.
Insane. Not outsane. Insane.
Not good at all. We just talked about it, but it's worth saying again. STFC clinching a playoff berth in their very first season. The first team in MLS to do so. Is that good?
Very good.
It's incredible.
Amazing. Amazing.
It just, it went from a hot start to a, can they contain this, to a, they're the best team in MLS right now.
It's been an incredible year. Hopefully it continues down the stretch. How about this? This just popped up in my timeline, and it's getting reaction. It's from awful announcing. It was 10 years ago today. The Red Sox announced they were moving on from Don Orsillo as their TV play-by-play voice. Talking about changing the course of 2 franchises' histories from a broadcasting perspective. 10 years ago today, the Red Sox moving on from Don Orsillo. Is that good?
For us.
It's very good for San Diego. Without that, he finished his career there. That's what he would have preferred.
Yep.
Without that, he finishes his career there, and now he's become obviously synonymous with San Diego Padres baseball.
Absolutely.
Over the last decade.
Jeremiah Estrada, we've talked about him all day.
Yep.
53 innings pitched against all of baseball, not named the Dodgers.
Okay.
Giving up 3 home runs in those 53 innings pitched. Against the Dodgers this year in 6 1/3, he's given up 5 home runs just against the Dodgers.
Crazy.
Brent, is that good?
No, he's not good. Are you kidding me?
That is, that's wild.
It's very wild. Like you said, they might not face again, but then again, they might face again. We'll see what that means if they meet again in the postseason, but it has not been a good year, obviously, for Estrada against LA. It has been against everyone else.
Everyone would sign up for an NLS or
NLCS?
NLCS.
Or an NL.
Monday. NLCS matchup.
A day that ends in day.
Correct. It's a blank day. Everyone would sign up for an NLCS against the Dodgers right now, because that would mean Padres are in the NLCS.
Completely. And my final one, as the Padres get ready to face the Mariners in Seattle, is Cal Raleigh. And the year he's put together 2 more home runs yesterday, becoming the all-time single-season home run leader for a catcher with 49 in one season. It's still only August. You made the point earlier, he could hit 60-plus home runs. Will certainly hit 50-plus home runs. Anyways, that good. It is for him, and he's a part of a lineup that does have punch to it as the Padres get ready for the Mariners tonight in the Pacific Northwest.
Real quick, if Seattle makes the postseason right now, they have a 3-game lead on Kansas City, I want to say?
3 games up on the Royals for the last spot.
All right, 3 games up on the Royals. They are a half game behind the Yankees for the 5 seed.
Okay.
Where I'm going with this is AL MVP. Judge or Cal Raleigh?
Well, it's a great question. When you know what I need to do is I need to look at the numbers. But Judge has missed a lot of time, right?
Judge has missed some time, not a lot of time.
Well, how many games has Judge appeared in is what I need to know.
He's appeared in, 120 games this
Okay,
year.
so he only missed 10 games. He was only on the IL for those 10 games.
He has 40 homers, 92 RBIs, 26 doubles, 2 triples. He's hitting 324 with a 1,108 OPS.
All right. And Cal Raleigh's got this catcher record, which I think does go a long way. He's got a 945 OPS.
His average is down. It's like 250-ish or
He's
something.
106 RBIs. How many does Judge have?
90 something.
I think it goes to Raleigh.
Really?
Because he did it, something that's never been done at a position, and because Judge kind of falls out of bed with these numbers, I think if he continues to play well, let's say he gets to 58 plus home runs and has more than Judge, which he will, I think he's the American League MVP. What do the odds suggest right now? Like if we look up AL MVP odds, 2025, 4 hours ago.
My guess is Judge still is the leader.
Judge minus 200, Raleigh plus 150. You're right. So you might be spot on. It might be Judge then. Then what does Cal Raleigh need to do then? If he hits 60, does he get it? 60 is a big number in 30
60
games.
is a massive, massive number. Now, when's the last time the Mariners made the postseason, John?
Did they not make it once here in recent history, or do they still have the longest drought in baseball?
But
they made it once. Like in 2023 or 2 or 1. Oh, they did. They made it in 2022, and they won the wild card over the Blue Jays 2-0. They lost the ALDS to the Astros 3-0. They were swept.
Okay. So
before that, it was 0-1, the 116 win team.
Right. Yeah. All right. So they got the playoff drought over with. I was going to say if the playoff drought was still there and they made the postseason this season, you had Cal Raleigh. I think the edge should go to Cal Raleigh, but he's going to get some first place votes. That's for sure.
Could be a close vote.
Cal Raleigh gets 62 home runs.
62s. Maybe.
Because how many did Judge have that year when he broke the American League record? Right? 63. Right. He had 63 total.
Remember, he didn't hit many down the stretch.
No, it was a pressure.
He hit 62.
62.
In 2022.
All right. Yeah, he broke 61.
Yeah.
He hit 62.
Took a while.
Everyone was hyping it up.
Yeah, it took
even
forever.
Though it's not the home run record for the single season, but
League, yeah.
let's shift the conversation to American League instead of all of baseball. But if Cal gets to 60, dude, as a catcher,
I even think, dude, 58 plus, and you got more than Judge, just give it to him. I mean, come on. Nobody's gotten even close to that at that position ever.
Right.
I think mid 50s plus, he gets the benefit of the doubt.
Like the odds of Aaron Judge winning another MVP are high. The odds of Cal Raleigh having this many homers in a season
are low.
Yeah.
All right. Aaron Goldsmith will ask him, play-by-play voice for the Mariners. We'll ask Aaron coming up at 4:30. He'll get us ready for the series. Kevin Acee joins us coming up at 5:30. The wrap on the other side to kick off hour 3 of John and Jim on San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app.
Dude, that kid. This update is brought to you by the Del Mar Thoroughbred Club. Padres won a series against the Dodgers over the weekend, taking 2 of 3. They are now tied in the National League West with 31 games to play. Dodgers, of course, hold the tiebreaker over San Diego as they won the season series. Padres tonight start a 3-game series in Seattle against the Mariners. The continuation of the Vetter Cup, John. 6:40 first pitch, JP Sears on the mound for the Padres. SDFC on Saturday night clinched a playoff berth. First team in MLS to clinch a spot in the postseason. Next up, they'll take on LAFC Sunday night. And San Diego State kicks off their season Thursday night at Snapdragon Stadium as they take on Stony Brook. This Saturday, August 30th, it's the $1 million Pacific Classic, Del Mar's richest and most prestigious race. The day features 5 graded stakes races, including the biggest race of the summer, the Pacific Classic, this Saturday at Del Mar.
Well, it was better than last weekend, taking 2 of 3 from the Dodgers and a tie in the West. What does it all mean? Plus a look ahead to the trip up to Seattle. Now live from the studios of San Diego Sports 760, it's John and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is hour 3 of John and Jim. We're here until 6 p.m. We're going to be joined by Aaron Goldsmith, who has probably been with the Mariners for the better part of the last decade. He will join us coming up at 4:30 to talk about this series coming up tonight, game 1 at 6:40. And then Kevin Acee on Question Gate. I don't know if he's going to listen. I can't let this thing die. The Acee Schilt back and forth, because it's not the only time it's happened. And Kevin, to his credit, has been very honest. He's been very honest with us about some of the back and forth with Schilt, right? Like he kind of says it how it is. I have to take Kevin's side, not just because he's joining us today. And I'm going to tell him. I almost want to play it for him. He probably doesn't want to hear it at all. I almost want to hear him react to that back and forth.
You don't think he's listened back to it?
I don't know, man. I wouldn't. I would not. I would not.
Well, I think he has, because my guess is to transcribe
for his article.
He records.
Great point.
And then he transcribes it
for
his
smart
article. So I'm sure.
Yeah, but I bet he thinks it's cringe.
Probably. I mean, I do think there is a relationship there. So maybe Schilt thinks that he can just try to walk all over Acee to like show that. I don't know what he's trying to show post game.
Well, if there's a relationship, the first text or call Mike Schilt should be sending after that is to Kevin. Like that's like, dude, are you missing the point?
Yeah.
Kevin doesn't play third base. Kevin is a journalist.
Right.
Kevin writes. He needs the quotes. He asked the questions to print the quotes.
Right.
So, like, are you missing the point here? And by the way, Kevin is so non-confrontational.
Very non-confrontational.
Is he like, oh man, I got you? It's never confrontational. He'll ask a question that I think should be asked here and there.
Right. It just is what it is. And like I said, glad Mike Schultz is a good manager, because I mean, this act would get very tired. And it's already tired, but it would get very, very tired if this team wasn't good.
Do you think it bothers Kevin the way Mike Schultz reacts to questions?
No, I do think, though, that everybody in that room at Petco, when Schultz starts doing what he's doing,
everyone's like,
rolls their eyes.
Everyone being the media?
Yeah. In that room. And I do think there are, I do believe, I don't know this to be fact, but I believe there might be people in that organization that do the same thing.
Like, why are you doing this?
Yeah. Like,
you don't need to do
oh my gosh, are we doing this again, Mike?
Right.
Like, just answer the question, dude. There's no point in doing this to try to show that you don't care so much about your team.
Yeah, you don't have to the nth degree, tell us how much you believe in Jeremiah Estrada. We already know it. And Estrada's earned the praise. He's pitched well.
And again, just it's like the little subtle things when he has to try to correct somebody. Like, no, we're not just playing good. We're playing exceptional. Like,
great.
Like, Mike, shut up.
Yeah, he can
answer
never,
the question.
He can never be perceived as anyone believing he's not fully in the corner of any of his players.
Correct.
And Mike, we already know it.
Right.
All right. So Aaron Goldsmith will join us at 4:30. Kevin Acee will join us at 5:30. By the way, we've buried the lead.
We have buried the lead. I know where you're going with this, and Aaron would be very upset with you. Aaron actually is very mad right now.
The issue is it's more of this is great for Aaron. Maybe we should have her call in. I don't know if she's eligible. Here's today's giveaway.
She's my wife.
Here's today's giveaway. Have her divorce you.
She might.
for these tickets.
I texted her.
Well, hold on. Let me tell.
At the start of the show, and she hasn't texted me back yet, so I'm a little worried.
Yeah, is she alive? Because what we're playing for are Jonas Brothers tickets. We're not even gonna. Are we doing train wreck? Or are we just gonna give them away? We're giving away Jonas Brothers tickets this hour. Jonas Brothers tickets this hour with Boys Like Girls. You know, September 4th, North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. So September 4th, are you going to go to that? What day of the week is that?
My guess it's a weekday. I think it's a Thursday. Yeah, it's a Thursday.
How did you know that? I think we looked it up.
I already looked it up because I know Aaron would want to go.
So would you consider like leaving here at like 3:30 to go to the Jonas Brothers concert?
No.
And we could just like AI generate your voice for a couple of hours.
Yeah, that would be very good.
So you wouldn't like, this isn't something you would like buy for Aaron?
I would 100%
or
buy
get him
Aaron.
from promotions or something?
I would absolutely ask promotions for it if it was on like a weekend. Weekday,
do this for Aaron, and then maybe she'll be like, "Oh, it's so nice that you did that. Maybe you could hit up another card show this weekend with one of your friends."
That is a great idea.
Is that not the best idea ever?
Also, we buried the lead.
The West Coast Card Show in Anaheim is legit.
So we went to the card show this weekend. Me, John,
Jones,
and Jones.
Some of my friends from LA.
And let's just say that we were both very overwhelmed.
I mean, you shouldn't have been overwhelmed. You had a nice 4 or 5 hours in there.
But the fact that there were 1,100 tables.
This thing was insane.
And it's not like I can stop at every table and just look intently on everything that they have. I have to kind of keep moving or else you're not going to see everything. And you might, miss something or whatnot. It was crazy. I looked at my step counter and I walked a lot.
Did you? I would say this too. It was like, I think they said 70-30 sports to like, game to like Pokemon.
Right.
But it's still a ton of Pokemon. But I will say this about the sports cards that I saw in Anaheim this weekend.
Oh my gosh.
The level of card was, the cards were like ridiculous. Like the cost per card had to be so, I mean, you just look left, you look right, 20 grand, 30 grand. I'm like, who is buying these cards? Well, it wasn't me. It wasn't Jones. But Jones walked away with more than like anyone.
I saw a Pokemon card that was selling for $150,000 at a table. I'm like, excuse me?
150 grand?
150 grand.
Insane.
I'm like, what? Also pretty cool. Bo Jackson was there. Rainey Johnson was there. Like this thing was legit, man.
JJ Redick was there.
JJ Redick was there?
Just with his kids, just walking around. But what I was going to say is, so Jones, this was a good executive decision by my wife, who didn't go. That was the good executive decision that she made. But she put him in a Tyrese Halliburton jersey because she loves the Pacers.
Smart move.
In Indianapolis. So we're sitting down towards the end. He's just sitting on a carpet, like opening random card packs. He's like so overwhelmed by the day. So was I. And some dude's like, that's my favorite player. And he gave him this like PSA 10, Gem Mint 10 Tyrese Halliburton rookie card that if you look at the recent sales is like between $100 and $200. He just gave my 6-year-old this like $100 to $200 Tyrese Halliburton Sacramento Kings rookie card because that's where he was initially. So good call by Kristen putting Jones in a Halliburton jersey. And Jones literally walked away with, I mean, you saw it.
Oh my gosh.
Walked away with like thousands of cards. I mean, because of the packs. He didn't even open it. He's like been sidetracked since we got home.
He also got, when you were inside, because I was out at inside the convention center watching Jones while you went to go look at some cards.
To look for a card, yeah.
You're like,
hey, watch my
son.
son.
Like, can you please give me 15 minutes?
Because I couldn't spend 1 second.
I know. So I was out there with Jones and some guy came up to us and he goes, here you go. Gave him a Jaden Daniels rookie card.
Right. And it's funny you say that. Then because the guy gave him the Halliburton, I said, you have to take something. We moved the Jaden Daniels rookie card for the Halliburton, even though he didn't necessarily want it.
It was incredible. And some guy gave him a box.
Like to carry your cards in.
Yeah, like a safe box that has a combination.
Which he loves.
And so it's like all padded inside to keep your cards all nice and organized and everything. And then it was
it was fun.
It was a lot. It was fun.
It was a lot.
And now I want to go back to another card show this weekend.
But I sent you. So my buddy from LA also went and met us, and he has a 7-year-old or maybe 8 now. And I texted Jim on Sunday morning. He's like, I'm looking up traffic. I'm thinking about a solo trip 44 minutes from my door to the Anaheim Convention Center. I want to go solo without my kid. And I get it, because with your kid, you just can't. You can't get anything accomplished.
You know what it reminded me a lot of? It reminded me a lot of Comic-Con. It felt to me like Comic-Con, the fact that, inside a giant convention center,
Sure.
there's hundreds and hundreds, thousands of tables, different interaction
With
booths.
athletes like Randy
Athletes
Johnson,
are
Bo
there.
Jackson, yeah.
But at Comic-Con, it's actors,
Yep.
right? Comic-Con, they have like Funko Pops, and then here they had like PSA stations. They had everything. They had Beckett,
Absolutely.
PSA, tag, activation
Yeah.
booths, giveaways, raffles. Like, it reminded me a lot of Comic-Con.
Yeah, I can see that. I've never been inside Comic-Con, but I could envision that it would be somewhat similar. All right, we'll get to the wrap on the other side. Coming up at 4:30 again, Aaron Goldsmith is going to join the show, play-by-play broadcaster for the Seattle Mariners. So he'll join us coming up at 4:30. This is John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, Wednesday at 6, right here. It's SDFC Midweek Live. You're going to hear from Mikey Vars, the head coach. Find out the latest on the club, SDFC Midweek Live, Wednesday at 6 on your home for SDFC. San Diego Sports 760. Aaron Goldsmith, radio voice. Actually, might be TV voice for the Mariners.
You can just say voice of the Mariners.
Play-by-play voice for the Seattle Mariners. Which one is coming up at 4:30? Now, we're behind on the wrap, so let's get to the wrap.
Okay.
It's time for the wrap. Presented by Sombrero Mexican Food. Check out their website at sombreromex.com.
What's more likely on Thursday? The Aztecs rush for 200 yards or they throw for 300 yards?
Rush for 200 yards. The thing that I know Sean Lewis wants to do is run the football. He already kind of stated that pretty clearly last year, establishing the run. Because his offense, everyone might think like he wants to throw it up and down the field and throw for 500 yards per game.
Yep.
He'd rather probably rush for 500 yards in a game. So my guess is that the Aztecs rush for 200 yards. That's the most likely outcome as far as with the question that you asked.
I completely agree, and I think that's who they want to be.
Yeah.
And some of the best offenses Sean Lewis has ever run have been unbelievable rushing offenses. There's this misconception they just throw the ball all over the place, and they have had success throwing the football as well, but he's had some of the best rushing offenses in the country as well. Kent State, like 2021, 2022. I think they've got a stable full of great running backs, beginning with Lucky Sutton. I think the offensive line has improved. They've brought in like run blocking tight ends. So I think they're primed for a big year on the ground. So I would say run for 200 yards as well. And I think they'll do it on Thursday night. Next question.
It's round 2 of the Vetter Cup. Do you care any more now than you did before?
No. There's nothing to play for these next 3 days because look, if the Padres do sweep and they win big and they have the better run differential, then on Thursday, or actually Wednesday afternoon, because they play Wednesday afternoon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Wednesday afternoon, man, will I care a lot.
Well, here's a hypothetical for you.
Give it to me.
You look. Okay, hear me out. So they're minus 12 in run differential in this series. They win the first 2 games. Hear me out. They win 4-1, 4-2, right? So now you need to win by 7. Are you stealing bases?
Yes.
In like the 9?
Yes, 100%.
Up 6-0 to try to push across that tying or go-ahead tie-breaking run.
Yeah, you
and is Seattle cool with that?
If you thought that I have criticized Mike Schultz before,
imagine if he goes easy in that spot.
If he takes out his starters, doesn't steal, doesn't double steal, doesn't try for the hit and runs late in the game by up by about like 5 or 6 runs to get that,
doesn't win the guitar.
Doesn't win that guitar. Like I'm firing Mike Schultz on Wednesday.
What would be amazing is if the Padres honestly, if the Padres sweep the Mariners, I could care less because that's an amazing accomplishment. And now they're really positioning themselves.
It would be pretty fun to talk about a Vetter Cup though.
But here's what would be amazing.
Tiebreakers,
sweep
baby.
Followed by outscoring the Mariners by 12. And now you got an even run differential. And if it actually went down to the hardest hit ball of the 6-game series, the EV for the Vetter Cup.
I do think right now as it stands, Padres would have to hit the ball very hard this series because right now, I forget who it is on the Mariners, but the Mariners do have the hardest hit ball in the Vetter Cup so far.
Wow. And by the way, it does make sense. EV for Eddie Vedder.
I know.
Which is kind of cool. I mean, that's kind of cool. Not really. Next question.
Yeah, because screw the rest of the guys in the band. Are the Cowboys a playoff team with Micah Parsons?
With Micah Parsons?
That's what it says.
Probably not.
Without him?
No.
Okay. So you're saying that they're better, but they're still not a playoff team with him.
Like a fringe playoff team. It's going to be tough for them. Without Micah Parsons, no shot. Even with Micah Parsons, it's going to be tough. And that whole contract dispute and that relationship that has gone sour.
Disaster, yeah.
There's no way this thing is just going to be resolved in 2 seconds and everyone's going to back to being kumbaya and he's going to go out there and play the level like right away. It's going to take time.
Yeah, completely. I think that they got serious issues. It remains a massive talking point, obviously, when it comes to the National Football League. And I'm with you. I mean, even if you, quote unquote, settle differences, but are they even really settled. They're so far behind the 8 ball for 2025. I don't think they're a playoff team regardless of what happens with Micah Parsons. Next question.
Will Fernando Tatis Jr. hit 20 home runs this year?
Like during the BP?
Like in the
Like
regular
in a
season.
cage?
In the regular season.
During the games?
We hit 3 more home runs in 31 games. He's hit 0 in his last
it's
almost
such
30.
A fascinating question. And at what point do we say, will Fernando Tatis Jr. hit 18 home runs? Is it if he goes another 12 games without a home run?
Dude.
Do you then say, will he hit another home run? I mean, 20, it still remains possible. He's only a day away from having another home run.
Yeah, there is no other way to put that Fernando Tatis Jr. offensively has had a down year this season. I'm sorry. It's a fact.
Yeah, I feel like everyone's kind of saying, look, there's been some good. The walks, I hate with the walk narrative though. It's like so ridiculous.
I know.
But as a leadoff guy, I don't want to fully discount it because there is value, and that's true.
Yeah.
And he has been on base a good amount. Yesterday, 0 for 3 walk. Yeah. It could be worse.
And if you're looking at, you can talk about two things. Talk about Tatis's overall season, defense included.
His defense has been great.
Then it makes his year pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's like a little above average.
With his defense, I'd say it's a good.
It's a good year, like above average year.
Yeah.
It's an above average year
without his defense.
Without his defense, it's a below average year.
Yeah, I certainly by his standards. I know people say like, well, his OPS plus is above league average. Yes, it is, but he was supposed to be well above league average. It's the conversation that will never end. The conversation about Fernando Tatis Jr.'s power. They talk about it everywhere. I hear it in some form or fashion in like every broadcast, in every forum. Fernando Tatis Jr.'s power comes up in every forum. He talks about it. Subreddit talks about it. You and I talk about it. Wrap Up Show talks. Everyone talks about it in one way or another. Everyone has an opinion on it. I think the only opinion that makes sense to me is that he's not the same power hitter he was.
No, not even close.
So
right now,
is that going to turn at some point in his career? Maybe. It's only 26. It's not like everything's over.
Mm-hmm. I do think though, once he gets the first one out of the way here,
he might hit one more.
You could see a little bit of the floodgates open, and I'm just like banking on his hot September last year, getting into a postseason where, I mean, he hit 7 home runs in September last season, and then he hit 4 in the postseason.
That's insane.
I mean, could you imagine after what Tatis has gone through this year at the plate offensively, all of a sudden he just busted out like 5 home runs in September and then another 5 or 6 in the postseason?
The reason I say yes is, I mean, you are playing the Rockies and the Orioles and the White Sox. Like, you're not facing elite pitching.
No, you should, hit some home runs here.
You're going to get some things to swing at. I mean, do the Orioles really care? Like, they're going to give you some pitches, you would think, to some extent, to hit. All right, Aaron Goldsmith, play-by-play voice of the Mariners, gets us set for game 1 of this 3-game set tonight in the Pacific Northwest. He's going to join us on the other side. Kevin Acee will join us at 5:30 from Seattle. This is John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app.
This update is brought to you by the Jim Petrell real estate team. Padres and Dodgers are now tied atop the NL West with 31 games to play. Dodgers, of course, they hold the tiebreaker over the Padres as they beat San Diego in the season series. Tonight, Padres start a 3-game series in Seattle against the Mariners. 6:40 first pitch, JP Sears on the mound for the Padres. Dodgers start a 3-game series in LA against the Reds. SDFC on Saturday night clinched a playoff berth, the first team in MLS to clinch a spot in the playoffs. Next up, they'll take on LAFC Sunday night. And Thursday night at Snapdragon Stadium kicks off the Aztecs football season as they take on Stony Brook. You can listen to that football game right here on San Diego Sports 760. Upside down on your home, but you need to sell it. Jim Petrell knows how to sell your home, wipe away your debt, and it won't cost you a dime. Go to jimcanhelp.com. Wipe away the debt, no cost to you. Go to jimcanhelp.com, DRE 0115-4905.
All right, Padres Mariners coming up from the Pacific Northwest game, one of the series at 6:40. Always great to connect with Aaron Goldsmith, outstanding play-by-play voice with the Seattle Mariners. And again, it's Padres Mariners game 1 tonight. And Aaron, we appreciate you hopping on. I want to say maybe earlier in the year, we talked about the Cal Raleigh deal in the offseason, which even at the time I was like, oh, that's a pretty team-friendly deal. Like 6 years, 100 or 6, 105. And now you look at what he's done, where he set this single season record for most home runs hit by a catcher. What's it been like from your seat to see this level of just this level of season, but the power that he's displayed throughout 2025? And thanks for hopping on.
Yeah, it's great to be back with you guys. Always fun to watch the Mariners and the Padres. I don't think anybody thought the Mariners were buying that low on Cal Raleigh when that deal was signed, but it certainly looks that way now based on what he's doing. Yeah, I was thinking about it yesterday and earlier today as well. It's just Cal Raleigh's kind of turning into just a one-of-a-kind player at his position when you think about, obviously, the home runs this year and the record that he said yesterday. There's never been a catcher hit more home runs in a season than Cal. And, when Salvador Perez did it, he did it at the end of September. When Cal Raleigh did it, he did it at the end of August. So there's certainly more time for him and more history to be set this year. But to have a player at that premium of a defensive position, not only have an offensive record, and a notable one at that, and then also have the defensive hardware of the Platinum Glove that he won last year. I mean, that's a pretty one-of-one kind of player. There hasn't been a guy who has had that much of a calling card behind the plate and that much power at the plate. He's carving himself into a pretty rare class of catcher, and there's still a long way left in his career, which means that there's a lot ahead of him in both a good way, but also that he has to endure. Right, this 1 or 3 great seasons does not make a Hall of Fame career, but I think it's safe to say that he's on a path right now, not just this year, but the last couple of seasons before that, where you're like, well, if you project forward, if he can do some version of not necessarily a 50 home run season every year, but if he can do something like he has been on average for the last 3 years for the next 5, I mean, you're looking at a pretty incredible peak of a career for a guy in Cal Raleigh.
Mariners are 11-2 in their last 13 home games. They've been incredibly hot at home of late. What's made them so difficult to beat at home here in the month of August?
Well, for the Mariners at home, not just this year, but last year as well, there's just been a huge pitching advantage for the Mariners. If you look at the home road splits dating back to last year, now you could go back even farther than that. T-Mobile Park has always been a pitcher-friendly ballpark, but it has really been exaggerated, I think is maybe the best way to put it, dating back to last year. The numbers are it's a pretty stark contrast. Now, the Mariners have had some real blow up games on the last road trip that certainly contribute to this year's home road splits. I don't know if anybody's ever gotten quite to the bottom of it other than just the park factors involved. And maybe that's enough of it to explain it. But there's a certain level of confidence, I think it's fair to say, that Mariners pitchers, and particularly Mariners starting pitchers, feel when they pitch at T-Mobile Park. And yes, the numbers, not just for the pitchers, but the win-loss record that it has helped result in is pretty staggering. And if the Mariners, if they want to chase down the Astros, if they want to win the West, and they want to get into the playoffs as a division winner, they do have to take advantage of games at home. it is a great home field advantage when you think about the pitcher park that it is, and then also the caliber of pitching that the Mariners have.
Great pitcher's park, but that also impresses me more about Raleigh, who's hit half of his home runs this year at home. I think 24 at home and 25 on the road. We're with Aaron Goldsmith, who calls games for the Seattle Mariners. Obviously, the Mariners at the deadline, going for it, so to speak. How have the moves worked out or not worked out to this point over the last 3+ weeks?
Well, the Mariners stole the corner infielders. They didn't steal; they traded for him. The corner infielders for the Diamondbacks.
Yeah.
And Josh Naylor has been fantastic. He is a free agent at the end of the year, as is Eugenio Suarez. And Suarez, as you know, is not just a Mariner for a couple of years, but a over-the-moon beloved Mariner. So the fan base was more than ecstatic when he came back. Suarez has not been the 40 home run guy for the Mariners since being acquired. His bat has been slower to kind of come around. We've seen more strikeouts from Suarez in his second go-round with the M's. Naylor's been more than solid. He's been very good. His bat, his demeanor, I think, is something this team really craved, and at a position of great need at first base. And then the sneaky move the Mariners made that is below the fold compared to those two bats I just referenced is a really veteran lefty in Caleb Ferguson, who you guys have, I'm sure, seen in the National League over the years. And he gives the Mariners another high leverage lefty that they really needed. So the Mariners had a very good deadline. They were able to make all those moves without giving up any really huge prospects. Those moves needed to happen for the Mariners. I'm sure they wish they could have done more for their bullpen, but they certainly did a lot to help this lineup, and it has really lengthened the lineup for sure.
Back to Cal Raleigh, because I'm sure everybody in Seattle thinks that Cal Raleigh should win the MVP this year. But as of right now, Aaron Judge is still the odds-on favorite to win the MVP. In your opinion, what do you think Cal Raleigh needs to do to make sure that he gets the attention of the voters to vote Cal Raleigh here as the American League MVP? Because I feel like it should be a pretty close race.
Well, it should be. And, all the credit to Aaron Judge as well. Obviously, he's on pace to be one of the all-time greats. And even though he's been injured this year, maybe hasn't been quite the same guy since coming back, his numbers are still remarkable. And if he were to win it, nobody would say that was a bad decision. He's had a spectacular season, as has Cal Raleigh. I think that the things that you have to weigh in that makes it a little muddy and murky, and it's tough, bottom line, is when you're talking about voting for Cal for the MVP, you are prioritizing his position. And you are prioritizing the fact that you are seeing truly an all-time, one-of-a-kind season at a position that, not just historically, but like all-time historically, has been the outlier worst offensive position in the history of Major League Baseball. So to get that from the catcher position, from a guy who has won a Platinum Glove. Now, he might not win a Platinum Glove this year, but even if he's not to that caliber, I think most would agree he's still a very good, very impactful defensive catcher. And so I think you're really prioritizing the position that he plays, the work that he does on both sides of the ball, and we'll see where he ends up in the home run record or home run march. But I mean, he has a chance to get to 60 home runs. He has a chance to tie, if not set, the all-time American League record. Now, that would take a lot. He's on a 60-homer pace, but he's certainly capable of that. But I think the flashing red light for Cal Raleigh will be, what does the final home run tally look like for him? And that will help push him more than anything else.
It's interesting you say it, because the Griffey mark in Seattle is what? 56,
which he did twice.
So, Griffey's done 56. What's the most home runs ever hit by a switch hitter in the history of baseball, right?
Yeah, so that's coming up as well. That's Mickey Mantle. He had 52, and then 54. He's coming up on it. So ish. So he's already broken. I mean, the records that he's broken this year are stunning. And I'll give you one quick peek behind the curtain from an at-bat earlier this year from Cal Raleigh. He had an at-bat where if he would have homered in that particular at-bat, I'm on the pushing the talk back button with my producer, and I'm like, hey, I'm going to make sure I'm getting all this right. And we're going back and forth as the at-bat's going on. It would have set the Mariners record for most multi-homer games in a season. It would have set the switch hitting record, passing Mickey Mantle, for the most multi-homer games in a season. It would have been the second time this year and the sixth time in his career that he would have homered from both sides of the plate. And I think that one would have might have tied Salvador Perez for the all-time catcher record. So, I mean, that's what we're talking about here, guys. I mean, the laundry list of not just greats, but inner circle greats that he has passed or potentially will pass this year. It's very tough to keep up with. It's a great problem to have for everybody involved. It's a truly one of a lifetime kind of seasons that we're watching unfold.
Yeah, and I'm sorry if you set the switch hitting all-time mark for home runs hit in a year, surpassing Mickey Mantle, you're the American League MVP. We'll see if it plays out that way or not. Aaron, one more for me before you go. Again, Mariners and Padres coming up. We appreciate you taking time. Julio Rodriguez is like a tale of 2 years, right? He's been scorching hot, or he's been a lot hotter since the middle of July. He wasn't necessarily that hitter the first couple months of the year. What's played out here over the last 6-7 weeks?
This is the tale of Julio Rodriguez. This happens every year. You can go back and you can find a line of demarcation almost every season. Now, maybe the rookie season for him is a little murkier in that regard. He got much better after the first month of the year, many years ago when he was just a 21-year-old. But for the last, call it maybe 3 seasons now, once it turns into July, once you start to flirt with the All-Star break, all of a sudden it's a completely different player. When you saw him last, everything was on the ground to third base. I mean, honestly, we would go, and I mean this sincerely, we would go weeks at a time, and you would not see Julio Rodriguez pull a ball in the air with authority. It didn't happen. And he gets a couple hundred at-bats under his belt. You start to get into the warmer months, and then it switches. The last 3 games before the All-Star break, he homered in all 3 games. And then he came out of the All-Star break, and he just picked up where he left off. And now he's the Julio Rodriguez that is on billboards and is marketed by Major League Baseball and is one of the most likable stars in the game. And he's hitting home runs to the second deck and stinging doubles the opposite way. I mean, this is not the time you want to face Julio Rodriguez. And that's a perennial thing, an annual thing for Julio.
Well, we're excited for this series. Again, both teams hopefully heading to the postseason here in 2025. A critical late August series in Seattle between the Padres and the Mariners. And Aaron, we appreciate you taking time for us. Be well. Have a good call this weekend. We'll do it again, all right?
Hey, it's always great talking to you guys. Should be a fun one. Thanks so much.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. We appreciate it. Again, Aaron Goldsmith, longtime play-by-play announcer for the Seattle Mariners. Let's give away Jonas Brothers tickets on the other side. Don't call now. We'll tell you how to win. Plus, we continue to get you ready for Padres and Mariners. If you missed Darren Smith, he was with us talking about SDFC's remarkable season and the Padres. You'll hear Darren at 5, and then Kevin Acee joins us live at 5:30. This is John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, we're giving away Jonas Brothers tickets in the next 10 minutes. This is coming up. You can see this show right here in San Diego, September 4th. That's a Thursday night. Jonas Brothers with Boys Like Girls. September 4th, North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. Tickets and info, Ticketmaster.com. If you missed our conversation with Darren Smith, you're going to hear that coming up at 5 p.m. Kevin Acee will join us live at 5:30. I just want to hammer home that point on Raleigh one more time. Now that I've thought it through,
And after talking to Aaron,
if the all-time switch hitting home run record is 54 set by Mickey Mantle, if you hit 55, it's yours.
Yeah.
Unless you're in Shohei Ohtani's league and the guy's got 13 wins and 61 home runs and 50 steals. You know, I mean, it's not like Judge is doing something beyond Judgian, so to speak. He's being Judge. But it's not even the best season of Judge's career. So I got to give it to Cal Raleigh because of that.
yeah, I was just about to say that. You
Yeah.
look at Judge's career. All right. I mean, this is a damn good season. Judge has had two better seasons than this, 2017 and 2024.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he could get to 2017 level, but 2017, he had 52 home runs and 114 RBIs. This year, he's got 40 homers and 92 RBIs. You have to do some serious damage.
Yeah.
Last year, 58 and 144, 36 doubles. Like, that's an MVP season.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if Judge ends the year with, say, 47 home runs and Cal Raleigh ends the year with 58, 59 home runs, I mean, especially at the position that he's playing, catcher, it's a premium position.
Oh, yeah.
I think you have to look at that and be the deciding factor here.
Let me ask you this. Is it insane to you that when I type in NL MVP odds, Ohtani's minus 10,000?
Jeez.
And Schwarber is plus 1,600. Guess who's third? So again, Ohtani minus 10,000. Schwarber plus 1,600 means he's 16 to 1. And then who is third at 100 to 1?
Hold on. Is it a Cub?
It's not.
Is it a Padre?
Is it a Brewer?
It's not a Brewer, but it is the San Diego Padre.
Manny
is third.
Wow.
And he's alone in third. But Ohtani, you know, it's already been won, so to speak. And make no mistake, it's a good, I get it. The 45 home runs, it's gaudy, right? He's pitched a little bit in here.
Sorry.
What's that?
Sorry.
Stat pattern?
Coughed a little bit.
What I was going to say, what's interesting, and I don't have it fully in front of me, none of this was against San Diego until that solo home run.
Oh, he's
of
played,
his 45 home runs, he's hit one against
played
San
awful
Diego.
against the Padres this year.
Right?
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's just a format. And listen, good 5.6 WAR, really good year, but it's not some 10 WAR year. Now he's a DH.
You're going to give an MVP to a guy with a 4.5 ERA? Come on.
It's a good point. It's a good point. But it's going to, I mean, how many is he going to end up with, man? How many does he have right now? MVPs. He's got 3. This would be a 4th. He's only how old?
Well, the media loves him.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And because of that,
it's going to get 8.
Every edge will go to go to Shohei Ohtani. Every time. Because there's nothing the media in baseball loves to do more than prop up Ohtani. There's nothing baseball loves more than to prop up Ohtani. And what better way to prop him up than give him every single MVP? Not saying he doesn't earn it, but still, I mean,
can we make a case for Schwarber?
Absolutely, we can make a case.
45 homers, 109 RBIs.
Yeah,
I can make a good case. But the issue becomes now in the National League is if Manny's got the third best odds. Listen, Manny's put together a year. It's been a very nice year.
Yeah,
but you start getting into the numbers. You can't compare it to Ohtani's
Not
year.
even close.
I mean, give me a break.
Right.
So I kind of get it. Like if there's no one else to give it to, it's not. And again, not to say Ohtani's had a bad year. He hasn't. But he's had better years.
I'll say this: if it looks like right now the Phillies are going to win the National League East.
Right. They're up 7 games on the Mets.
Okay. So they're going to win the National League East.
Yep.
We don't know what's going to happen in the National League West, but let's just say the scenario plays out where Phillies win the East, Padres win the West, Dodgers are now a 5 seed.
Phillies are the 2.
Phillies are the 2. Let's just say Schwarber has 55 home runs. All right. Ohtani has 50 home runs.
Right. So he's got more than Ohtani. His team won a division.
I think it should go to the guy that has not only more home runs, but led his team to a division title instead of a guy that, is on a team that's a 5 seed.
Compelling point. I mean, I think it's an argument.
But again, like I said, there's nothing that the baseball writers of America love to do more than, and just baseball media in general, national media, than to glaze Shohei Ohtani to the point where it's like, this guy's amazing. He's the greatest player ever. Oh my gosh. He's amazing. Like, give me a break.
What was the last controversy that's already been completely forgotten about that we talked about like a week ago?
Where he's stealing money from people in Hawaii for a
I don't know if he's stealing money.
For a
right. He was involved in that like the marketing
project.
of like a
sabotaging a real estate thing.
Yeah, real estate deals.
Yeah.
No big deal. It's fine.
It's crazy. Yeah, I don't even know. What
Guy's a fake. In my opinion, he's a fake.
I love when you.
He's a phony.
Against the Padres this year. I don't even want to go down the path yet because it's still the postseason.
Correct.
But the Padres, to their credit, have done a good job against Ohtani this year, who will win, again, his fourth MVP. All right, so Darren at 5, Kevin Acey at 5:30.
Can't wait to talk to Kevin.
I can't wait to talk to Kevin. I was going to say the same thing. I mean, I feel bad because it's like Kevin's just trying to. Here's the thing. Like, would we prefer Kevin didn't ask the question? No. Don't you want him asking the question? Hey, Mike, what were you thinking about Estrada in the 7th inning there? Fair question. So I want him to ask the question. I think it's a completely legitimate question. I don't want to get in a situation where Mike is never asked about any of his decisions.
Well, none of his decisions are ever wrong, according to Mike Schultz.
He's not even questioned that often on his decisions. Win
I
or
know.
lose. There have been nights where we're like, remember, like the whole story of this game is this bunt, and it doesn't even come up post game.
And by the way, even if Mike Schultz has in his mind, perfect explanation for a decision he makes, that doesn't always mean that every decision is justifiable. Like you can have,
or it won't. It doesn't mean that it's going to work.
Well, that too,
right?
But if it just because in his mind,
okay,
it's justifiable, doesn't mean it's
fully justifiable.
Exactly.
Yeah, because he might be wrong.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, he's wrong. He even said as much yesterday. Like, we're not perfect.
Yeah.
So
he did say that.
So not every move he makes is a perfect move.
Agreed.
Even when it doesn't work out and he gives you an explanation, even if it's the greatest explanation on the planet, still doesn't mean that it was justifiable. It means there are times that you can have an explanation for something and why you did it and still be wrong.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. And again, I have no real issue with the justification. I also don't have a real issue with someone saying, you know what? Maybe something else could have been considered. My issue a little bit today is with all these people telling me this was clear as day obvious. David Morgan's got to be on the mound in that spot. I'm like, well, it may have worked. But don't tell me it's clear as day obvious heading in.
Now, Darren did make a good point. Like, if this was solely to try to get Jeremiah Estrada back on the good side of things against the Dodgers, and you're just trying to give this guy some confidence, maybe not the best idea to do that in a 2-2 game.
In a 2-2 game, yeah.
In a game that, this is a swing game yesterday.
Big swing game.
It's either you're up by 2 in the division or you're tied.
Yep. Big swing.
So like, I agree with that point, and I haven't thought, I didn't think about that of like, are you doing this to try to give this guy confidence against the Dodgers? And if you are, okay, that's fine, but let's not do it in a 2-2 tie game on the 7th. Let's do it in a situation where maybe you're up 5-2. Or you're up 5-2 or 6-2, or you're up 4-0.
Yeah.
And you can make a switch and pull the hook there before things get out of hand.
It's a good point. It's a very good point.
So, interesting. I'll have to ask Kevin about that.
All right, Darren Smith, if you missed our conversation on the other side on SDFC and the Padres, Kevin Acey at 5:30. Call right now. Caller 7. You're going to see the Jonas Brothers on September 4th at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. 2 free tickets, right? Is it 2 tickets, bro? I don't know why he's doing the college football theme song. We have tickets, is what it says. We have tickets. Call 877-767-4760. I think they're going to do the NBA theme song, the college football
Waffle
theme
House.
Song.
The only reason why I know that melody is because Aaron loves the Jonas Brothers.
Obviously.
I know.
877-767-4760. Call right now. Caller 7. You're going. Darren Smith on the other side. Final hour, John and Jim next.
All right, this update is brought to you by the Jim Patrol Real Estate Team. Padres and Mariners start a 3-game series tonight in Seattle. 6:40 first pitch. JP Sears on the mound for the Padres. Padres and Dodgers are tied atop the National League West. Dodgers start a 3-game series tonight at home against the Cincinnati Reds. SDFC clinched a playoff berth this past weekend. First team in MLS to clinch a playoff spot this year. Next up, they'll take on LAFC Sunday night on the road. And Thursday night is the home opener for the Aztecs as they take on Stony Brook. Of course, you can listen to that game right here on San Diego Sports 760. Upside down on your home, but you need to sell it. Jim Patrell knows how to sell your home. Wipe away your debt, and it won't cost you a dime. Go to jimcanhelp.com. Wipe away the debt. No cost to you. Go to jimcanhelp.com.
Well, it was better than last weekend, taking 2 of 3 from the Dodgers and a tie in the West. What does it all mean? Plus a look ahead to the trip up to Seattle. Now live from the studios of San Diego Sports 760, it's John and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is the final hour of John and Jim. It's hard to believe, Jim.
Forever.
It's
I'm just
gone
kidding.
so fast. But by the way, hold on. We might be burying more leads. We have to hear from Mike Schilt.
Oh,
where is Mike Schilt? He's in Seattle.
I don't know. I don't get emails anymore from the Padres.
You really don't.
I did nothing.
We haven't
I
gotten
did
the
nothing.
audio. Yes,
I
you
did nothing.
Yes,
I
you
did nothing.
Yes, you did.
What did I do?
You criticized Jace Tingler in 2018.
Oh, boo-hoo. Can't handle a little criticism from Jim freaking Russell. Give me a break.
Now, do you think they'll bother to ask him about the Vetter Cup? Because remember they asked him last time, and he's like, had no opinion on it.
I'll tell you this: if Bob Scalen's asking the questions,
it'll be fine.
It will probably be asked.
All right, we'll hear from Mike Schilt. Hopefully, Kevin joins us live at 5:30. We should get Mike Schilt with Kevin on the radio at 5:30. That's not happening. But if you missed Darren Smith,
just like you know that those pranks where they have the 2 phones and they one Pizza Hut calling the other Pizza Hut.
That'd be amazing. If you missed Darren Smith, we had him on earlier. He's been on the call all season long for SDFC. We talk SDFC and Padres. We started the conversation just been asking about this expansion franchise, the fastest club in MLS history to clinch a playoff berth. What's it been like to watch from his seat?
Yeah, it has been. And it's been a lot of fun to be around it and just to seeing it continue to grow in confidence, from where it was early on, where you thought, okay, they come firing out of the gates. And you could sort of spin some of their early season results because nobody really knew who any of these players were. Who are these guys? They're from Denmark. What's going on here? Who's Mikey Bottas, right? So there's a lot of that early on in the season where you're starting to think, okay, well, this is cool. This is a great way to start. But it's probably going to tail off at some point just because, who can put together a team like this in that short amount of time. But I think it's just the evolution of it, quite honestly. And it is watching the players grow with confidence. It is even watching some of the speed bumps where their players are getting hurt. New guys are coming in. Different guys are playing different roles. And it just seems to be getting better. And they're constantly being challenged by Mikey, the head coach, to get better, to accept all these things that are happening and figure out a way to funnel it into more success somewhere down the road. So I don't know that I thought we were going to be talking about record-setting stuff, but, here we are now, already having clinched a playoff spot, the only team in MLS to have done it. And, they really do think like the best is yet to come over the 6 remaining games and then into the postseason.
What team scares you the most as far as matchup-wise? Because now they've clinched a playoff berth. We can talk playoffs and matchups. Like, is there a team out there that kind of scares you in the Western Conference in hopes that SDFC maybe avoids them in the playoffs?
Well, that one we just saw on Saturday, it was pretty good to me. Now, like that situation for them is, Portland has been really good at preventing the goals from going in, but they've not been good at scoring the goals. So kind of a big deal. And they went out there, the soccer equivalent, MLS equivalent of the trade deadline is called the transfer window. And they went out there and they added 3 really, really good players. Now they don't have a ton of time, but they all got thrown right into the mix Saturday night. All 3 of them started. And if that team can figure itself out in terms of scoring more goals without compromising itself, that might be problematic. But the thing about the postseason, guys, like any of these sports, right? It's like what we talk about with baseball all the time. Inter Miami was the best regular season team ever in Major League Soccer history last year. Lionel Messi in that group, they won the Supporters Shield. They had more regular season points than any team. They didn't get out of their first round. So playoffs, best of 3 series, kind of a crapshoot. So, that team, though, and having to think about traveling to go up to Portland, who really knows? It's turf. The weather could be dodgy. So I wouldn't mind avoiding that one if we can. But, again, everybody's still got to get there. And I think even just getting into the postseason is, these guys aren't going to be afraid of anybody.
Darren Smith with us right now, John and Jim. Again, SDFC, LAFC, Sunday night, 7:45 right here on San Diego Sports 760.
Yeah, baby. Great game.
Under the
night
lights.
Sunday game.
What are the particulars there, Darren? Because wasn't that just recently announced the start time?
Yeah, like noon today, I found out. I was like, wait a second here. Labor Day weekend. Up at BMO Stadium at 7:45, which means kickoff's probably going to be like 7:50ish. I don't know. I guess we're just getting the late holiday window out there. So I don't know if it's something dictated by television, but we'll be on 760 kind of later than we have been all season long.
Well, I sympathize, as you know, calling Aztec games, right? A lot of those 7:30.
I know, you know what it's like.
I want to say they actually play. Well, week 2 in Pullman is at 7:15, but there's some 7:30 starts in there as well. Here's my question for you, because they're right there in the conversation right now for the Supporters Shield, right? Most points in Major League Soccer. Can you describe? I mean, to us specifically, or maybe people that haven't followed soccer as closely as others have. I mean, that's an amazing accomplishment, is it not? It's not regarded as much as such. Let's say in Major League Baseball, you win 104 games. But if you don't win a World Series, I don't think the 104 games has the same value as the value of a Supporters Shield, right, in soccer?
Yeah, I think that's fair. And it's not a participation trophy, as some might think. Some might say, wow, Supporters Shield, that sounds kind of stupid. What is this? Like, is it just something that you give away? I think part of the purpose of having it is that most soccer leagues around the world don't have playoffs. So what you do during the regular season determines a champion. So MLS didn't want to drift completely away from that. It didn't have the Supporter Shield when the league started back in 1996. It took a few years. They added it retroactively for the teams that were the best during the regular season. So, not only do you actually literally get something for it, you could say now, okay, cool, we've won this thing. We were the best team. There is this great recognition, but there's also a reward that comes with it, in that if you are the best team during the regular season, you qualify for one of these tournaments, right? Soccer's kind of crazy. It's got all these overlapping tournaments. Leagues Cup, we just went through it. U.S. Open Cup's another one, but CONCACAF Champions League is another one. And if you win Supporter Shield, you qualify. You get one of the bids, automatic bids, to go to CONCACAF Champions League, which is pretty prestigious. It's as prestigious as any North American team or Central American team, as prestigious a tournament as any of these teams have. And you get to go and play in places like Mexico, Costa Rica, Central America, the Caribbean, et cetera. And there's money attached to that. So it's not just, okay, cool, we're recognizing somebody for what they did during the regular season. I don't think it's perfect. It does have its flaws. But it also has its reward in that that's a really big deal if you can qualify for a tournament like that anytime, but especially in your first year in Major League Soccer.
Yeah, it's just an incredible season, and it's an incredible time here in San Diego. I mean, you got SDFC, they clinched a playoff berth. They're in first place in the Western Conference. Oh, and by the way, the Padres are tied for first place in the National League West as well. It's just a crazy time for sports here. So moving to the Padres here, Darren.
How about Saturday, by the way? How about 70,000 plus people at sporting events, 2 different sporting events, like separated by 5-6 miles or whatever it is. Crazy. And
within, I want to say, minutes of the end of the Padres game and the start of SDFC, and they clinched a playoff berth, at halftime on Saturday?
Yeah, I know. It wasn't quite as dramatic. I was in for Adrian. Adrian was off doing Chargers, and I thought about this all week, end of the game, SDFC, win or draw, and we're going to go to the playoffs. I was like, I was going to say something profound, and it was going to go into the archives. And then it was like 12 different playoff scenarios, and one of them hit at halftime.
Right. I saw your tweet. I was like, that's a lot.
Yeah. I took a little wind out of the sails. I was like, yeah, man, I really wanted to say something that was going to be on the highlights on 760. And
right. Yeah. Well, the main thing is that they clinched a playoff berth and they're in.
Of course.
But moving over to Padres, they finally won a series against the Dodgers this weekend. Yesterday, slipped away from them. We've had this Jeremiah Estrada conversation all weekend long, or all day long, excuse me. The final 31 games, what is your thoughts on the stretch run here for the Padres?
Well, what did you guys decide on Estrada? I was listening a little bit earlier. I feel like you guys are both on the same page.
I kind of thought, I need your thoughts.
Well, I mean, I'm not a big show defender, but I thought this was a defensible decision. Now, today, John Gennaro brought up a good point. He goes, well, why did Schilt put him in there? Did he put him in there to prove a point, or did he put him in there because he thought he was the best choice in that spot? And if the answer is he's trying to get him in there so that he can feel good about himself against the Dodgers, and that's not like Mike Schult's ever going to admit this, but if that's why he really did it, is he was trying to get some confidence for Jeremiah Estrada, I don't know that that's the right time to do it, but I think it's defensible, and I think he's had success against the Dodgers in the past, so I'm not as down on the decision, even though the people who are opposed to it clearly have the result on their side. So I don't know. How do you guys see that?
That's 100%. I feel the same way. My only issue is the defensiveness that Mike Schilt shows post game. Like, I think it's inaccurate. Kevin is not asking questions. You know Kevin better than I do.
Right.
But he's not being like, gotcha. Like, it wasn't like some crazy line. Yeah. He's just looking for the quote. He's looking for the explanation. I think it's a completely, he's doing his job. Mike's doing his job. I just felt that was the problem for me. It's just, he's so defensive. Like, buddy, he's just asking a question. It wasn't that crazy.
I mean, Estrada handled it a million times better than Schilt did, and he's the one that had to go out there and wear it. So I don't know. That makes me wonder if Schilt was maybe thinking, that he was just trying to do it because he felt like he had to get the guy back out there. It's the last time you're facing them, and you don't want this to linger around in case it's a postseason series. But I don't know. The next 31. I mean, I still think obviously the division is in play. You sort of still, have that sitting there looking right in front of you. And, I know the schedule gets tricky with Seattle and Milwaukee, I think, and the Mets. So, but there's a lot of wins out there as well.
Yeah. And look, if you can't get the number 9 hitter out in Dalton Rushing, like that to me is more on Estrada than Schilt. I understand the reasoning for it. It wasn't like he put him out there against Ohtani and Freeman. Like he put him against the bottom of the order. And he walked in Forto. He gave up a 3-run shot to Dalton Rushing. That's on Estrada, man. Like he's got to be better than that.
Yeah. And again, I mean, he's a guy that you trusted last year in the postseason. He was great against the Dodgers. Didn't give up an earned run in 3-4 innings, something like that. So, he's one of your guys, but, if your motivation for going out there was, oh, man, I don't know, he might be wavering a little bit, then maybe that's not exactly the right rationale behind it, but I don't expect Mike Schultz ever going to admit that to us.
And the crazy part is, like, there's a good percentage chance that they don't even face the Dodgers again. Like, they have the next time they would face them, would be probably at earliest the NLCS, which would be, I mean, that'd be incredible, but
you'd sign up for it.
Yeah, exactly. You'd sign up for that.
Darren, real quick before you go.
I still like him more than Morgan, but that's just me.
Yeah. Again, it's like, after we know the end result, that's where it's so easy to second guess, And I mean, they play 162 times. It's not always going to work out. Darren, before you go, because you're staying busy, obviously, tell us more. I know we've asked you about this before, but the work you're doing at section1904.com for San Diego sports fans. Tell our listeners a little bit about what you're doing each and every day. You guys are doing a ton.
Yeah, we are. I mean, it's crazy that doing a 1-hour show is somehow busier than like 3 or 4 hour shows. We're doing it Monday through Friday, and we add on some bonus content on the weekends. We're trying to keep up with the John and Jims of the world. We're putting out a ton of content out there, and giving people an opportunity to to just hear myself, John Gennaro, talk a little bit about the things that are happening. We're allowed to take some positions maybe that are a little different, than some of the positions that you could take. We can focus in on the things that we really want to talk about. We can, express ourselves in ways perhaps that we couldn't always on other platforms. So, it's just a really cool thing. It's a cool way for us to, continue to be involved, be out there a little bit. It's Monday through Friday. It's at section1904.com. We're looking for a San Diego State football guest this week. Hint, hint. I don't know if anybody would be available to come on and join the podcast, but
Jim,
if you know of anybody, I'd be happy to hear.
Jim doesn't do appearances.
I nominate John Schaefer.
I'll do it. Darnay had me on last night, and Jim got all offended because he wasn't asked. But I'm like, he had me on to talk San Diego State.
Let's be real here. I probably would have said, you know what, John, you can do it yourself. It's okay.
But yeah, I'd love to join you. Seriously.
Oh, okay. Well, I was asking for Jim, but or Fletch. I love it, man. Man, I mean, I can't believe college football is here. Like, what a time with NLCSC in the postseason, and Padres right there, tied for first. And here comes season number 2 for Sean Lewis. What a lucky group of people you are.
It's a problem when you go like dual screen Hawaii Stanford Padres Dodgers. That's how you know you have a problem when you're watching Hawaii Stanford and Padres Dodgers. Darren, keep up the good work again for our listeners. Check out section1904.com and text me and I'd love to join you. Thanks, Darren.
Thanks, guys.
I'm going on Wednesday with Darren.
Oh, must be nice.
Going on Wednesday. We are going to hear from Mike Schild on the other side. He spoke to the media for 8 minutes.
Give it to me.
I don't know if we're going to hear it all because Kevin Hasey joins us at 5:30, but you're going to hear Mike Schild coming up next, John and Jim. All right, we all remember that one teacher made a difference who believed in us, challenged us, who just made learning fun. Now's your chance to say thank you to Big Way with iHeartRadio's Thank You Teacher, powered by Donors Choose. Nominate outstanding public school teachers gone above and beyond for their students to win $5,000 to stock their classroom with whatever they need. Today's teacher of the day, Kathy Baker, who teaches at San Diego Met High School and who people told us is a hardworking woman, puts everyone's needs before hers. She is super kind and enjoys being a teacher. Congrats, Kathy. You're in the running to win $5,000 for your classroom. Nominate your favorite teacher at iHeartRadio.com/teachers. Kevin Acee in 10 minutes. We need to hear from Mike Schild. He has sat down with the media, and it starts with an update on Michael King.
Haven't seen Michael, talked to medical. Came out of it yesterday well, but haven't got any intel to date on how he feels today.
Okay, so would this be something you think we maybe get an update on post game?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. As far as just how he feels today, and then what he's tracking for. He's tracking for another, game of some sort.
You've got Sears going today. He's very familiar with these guys. Is there? I think he's got 3 starts or so against them already this year. When you give a guy like this,
struggling.
Rely more on guile as opposed to power stuff. Advantage pitcher, or in your experience, when you see a team like this over again?
If they get out, it's advantage pitcher.
Yeah, fair.
I think that's fair. I mean, listen, just about location, controlling counts, and I thought he did a very good job too. And if he can do that, we'd be happy.
I just need one laugher question about this Feder Cup thing. Your back's up against it, my friend.
It is. We got to go. Listen, we'll take it one game at a time. We got to take care of today, and I do expect the guitar to be in the Padres lobby.
Sometimes it rains, sometimes it doesn't, right? Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Just run out the cliches there.
Yeah, we're going to get them today.
Okay.
Yeah. Our back against the wall.
Share a little bit about the balance of the rotation. It was pretty much right-handed heavy at the start of the year. Now with Nestor and Sears, particularly both coming off both starts.
Yeah, no, we do. We've been right-handed. It's interesting, at least to me, and to share a little bit. We do our pitchers meetings, not to be out of school, but we do right-handed attacks with our relievers, and we go through it. Now we have to do more reliever left-handed attacks. So it's good. It's good. Different. It's a good different look for opposing teams, and creates a little balance.
Different has this been for you in terms of in-game maneuvers? Like there was a time where you were 2, 3 a game doing this and that, and lately it's been defensive replacements and just having the certainty in your lineup and guys who you're not trying to replace or thinking you.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we do have a deeper lineup. We're clearly getting contributions from the bottom, which is very important, and it's making the top even stronger. I feel like just distributing the ability to everybody just do their part, not to try to carry anymore, and just pass the baton mentality. But as far as the moves go, they still exist. I mean, with the current what we have with Jackson being out, with Laureano not out of position, but I played a lot of center. Sheetsy but doing a good job. Sheetsy doing his part in the left field. But, Bryce is a solid above average defensive player who's done a nice job for us in a couple of different places. So that's probably the biggest move that you look for with the lead as to when that look like that could happen. After that, for me, he's done a great job behind the plate, taking good, productive at-bats. So it's not a real pull for that. We've been giving O'Hearn and, we mentioned Sheetsy a chance. It's at the expense of Iglesias. It's always when you give more guys opportunities, it's at the expense of somebody. And so right now it's at the expense of Iglesias, and, we'll try to create some opportunities for him at some point as well. But, we go into the game knowing where the spots are for Iglesias. They haven't shown up more recently, but who knows? He could show up tonight and then get us back on track for that better cup.
With the bottom of the lineup going as it has generally for the last, even a little bit before the trade deadline.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, okay, great. Their numbers are better. They're producing more. But you keep mentioning about how you think it's helping pick up the talk too. Like, how does that manifest itself?
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, the guys know that, our big boys know they got to be big boys. But I got to tell you that, if you're not getting a lot of consistent contribution from the bottom of the lineup, and that there's, basically at that time, 2 innings to 2+ innings being, not really productive. Those other 6 innings and those other 3 to 4 at bats. First of all, those guys don't get as many at bats going to turn the lineup over, but those at bats have more magnitude. And it's like, I better do something now but no, we don't feel that now. And so I think I'm confident it does create a little bit more sense of, hey, I can just do my part and know that I can pass the baton.
Mike, in light of what Cal Raleigh's doing, I know you had Yachty, but I want to ask you a theoretical question. What is it about finding well-balanced, in particular offensive, minded or threatening catchers? Where has the catching gone offensively from where we've seen it?
I don't know. You mean as far as historically?
Yeah, well, like in recent times, it seems like harder to find an offensive catcher as successful, say, as Raleigh is in this particular year, or some guys you've seen in your career?
Yeah, that's a great question. I haven't given a lot of thought, so I'll reserve the right to come back to you on it. But initial thought, I was raised with an organization that Yachty was in, and even before then, you had Pagnazzi and Matheny, and, at one point we had 14 or 15 gold gloves of the previous 23 or 4 years. Point being, it was a very defensive. I was raised in a defensive-oriented position with a catcher because it's so impactful with the 13 or 12 or how many at the time there are in a pitching staff. So I'm always going to lean towards the defensive side of it because it's just so impactful, calling a game, maneuvering a game. And when you manage a game and you live with catchers that have that ability, you can see it, and you have catchers that don't, you can feel it, and it shows up. And so as far as the offensive goes, I don't know. I'd be curious to know, is there more offensive catchers in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s presently? I should know that.
I feel like we can.
He should know that. All right, Kevin AC. That was Mike Schilt.
Can I please hear
6
his laugh real quick? This is the most amazing laugh in the history of laughs.
Okay.
Give it to me, bro.
I think
that was Schilt.
That was Schilt, dude.
Oh my God. Please keep that forever, Brent. No.
That wasn't Schilt, right?
It can't be Schilt.
Play it again, Brent.
Yeah, fair.
That's high pitched.
I think that's fair.
Kevin AC joins us next. This is John and Jim. Don't go anywhere.
All right, this update is brought to you by Staples. Padres and Mariners start a 3-game series tonight up in Seattle. 6:40 first pitch. JP Sears on the mound for the Padres. Excuse me. Padres and Dodgers are tied atop the National League West with 31 games remaining in the regular season. SDFC clinched a playoff spot this past Saturday night. First team in MLS to clinch a playoff spot. Next up, they'll take on LAFC Sunday night on the road. And Thursday, the Aztecs football season kicks off as they take on Stony Brook at Snapdragon Stadium. This is your saving tip of the summer. Shop Staples for school supplies as low as 25 cents, plus more great deals for teachers and students on top brands and trending styles. Kind of makes me wish I was in school again. Staples, that was easy.
All right, back to Seattle. We caught up with Aaron Goldsmith, play-by-play voice of the Mariners. Kevin Acee joining us right now. Back with us, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. And Kevin, as you know, we always do appreciate it. So I think overall, obviously, a successful weekend for the Padres. They take 2 out of 3. As you can imagine in our role, Kevin, we have spent a lot of time today reacting to what Mike Shildt told you about Jeremiah Estrada's lane, so to speak. I guess I'll start there, and I want to hear your thought on it. Were you surprised that Mike Shildt was as defensive as he was when asked about what played out yesterday in the 7th inning?
That was my answer. No. When that ball landed, I said, well, I can't say what I said to myself. We got FCC guidelines because not because I mean, it's my job to ask those questions.
Right.
It was because I knew what the reaction was going to be. And it's just so exhausting to, have to deal with that from Mike. I think he's an excellent manager. There's this one part of the job he doesn't handle very well, and that is that he is questioned. And it's not questioned like he thinks is being questioned. It's not, why did you do that? It's, hey, Mike, could you kind of take us through why it is that you did that so that we all have an understanding? And by that, I mean the media as a conduit to the fans. As the ones who get to ask the questions and put the information out there, could you? And that never goes well. So the answer, or rarely, the answer was no. I was not surprised one bit.
And it's crazy because when the move happened, like I didn't look. We know that Jeremiah Estrada struggled against the Dodgers, but also the lane that Mike Shildt loves to say they put him in, it was against the bottom of the order. And if Dalton Rushing is up at the plate, Jeremiah Estrada is expected to get him out. It wasn't like he put him in against Ohtani and Betts and Freeman.
Right.
So like the move, while a lot of fans I think are criticizing the move, I don't know about you, Kevin. When they brought in Jeremiah Estrada, did you think like, oh no, this is probably going to be bad, or did you think like, okay, bottom of the order, he's expected to get the bottom of the order out here?
Thought both. How about this? And I have said this to Mike before when he, not on camera, obviously, and I'm not there to try to, go viral or whatever. I didn't say it yesterday, but I have before said, no, I wrote that down before it turned out bad or good. So I wrote down, hey, Estrada, let's check and see because Miller, Suarez, Morejon are available. He has struggled, by the way. Andy Pajes hasn't homered off him, but he's gotten hits in his past 2 at-bats. So it's not like he's a total slappy against Estrada. So let me just ask about it. But I also 100% agreed with you that, come on, Jeremiah Estrada is a good pitcher. He should be able to get through these guys. And then Shildt is able to really operate from a position of strength in what was at the time a tied game and was going to be close because he has the benefit of if he has to use 2 more guys to get through the 9th and it's still tied, he gets to take one of his top guys into the 10th. So I really had close to 0 issue with the move to go to Estrada.
Kevin Acee is our Padres insider. To put a bow on it from my perspective, that's why the level of defensiveness surprises me. It basically creates its own story. If you ask the question, he says, we liked Estrada there. And then he said, because we did consider Morejon, but we thought that Will Smith would come on to pinch hit in that spot. We thought it was a better lane for Estrada. End. It's a simple, I get it. That's his explanation. And by the way, we get it. You can have a really good explanation and it doesn't necessarily work out. These are human beings. They have to perform. So I just felt like he opened himself up to additional criticism by acting in the manner in which he did.
He did. It is what it is. I'm so reluctant. I've said more to you guys here than I've said anywhere publicly because the media should not be a part of the story. But Mike, I do also know that his manner of responding to questioning has become kind of a thing out there. and that people are talking about it. And yes, it's public. He does react in that way. It's pretty comical. It's unfortunate because I believe he's a very, very smart baseball man, and sometimes then doesn't give a good answer because he's too busy being defensive. But then most of the time, like yesterday, if you're willing to go through all the other garbage, there's a good answer inside of there.
Absolutely. And I've said, good thing he's a good manager, because I don't want to see him manage a bad baseball team. that might be a problem. All right, moving off of that yesterday, because there's other things to talk about here. Michael King, what's the latest with him? Is he all on track here to come off when they expect him to come off, or what's the deal with Michael King?
Probably September. There's two things there. He gets to build up from the whatever it was, 44 pitches yesterday. And they didn't look, if he was ready to come back, he'd come back. But then also you get into September and there's an extra roster spot, and, they can do whatever they want, however that helps them. They might go with 6 starters, I'm told, but they'll probably go with an extra bullpen arm because that's what makes most sense. And they've got off days. But also, if let's say you have a really good week here and you're really tracking toward the postseason, maybe you do want to start giving Nick Pivetta, whoever else some rest. I don't know. So it looks like next week, maybe against Baltimore, if everything goes well, with that Wednesday, maybe against Baltimore, Michael can come back.
And there's still obviously time to be fully built up and ready to go for, whether it's a stretch run or the postseason, but that time is getting to be a little more limited, obviously, for Michael King. All right. Kevin Acee is with us right now. What about Jackson Merrill? He eventually finally got put on the IL. So what's the timeline on Merrill?
Saturday or Sunday, look, I saw him today, and that's as good as he's looked. Still not doing baseball activity, which makes you go, okay, is he going to tomorrow? Like, when is it that Jackson's going to get out and do some stuff? I mean, he's been playing all season, so that's fine. But, let's see. Unless he was headed down to the cage, which I don't think he was, because when I talked to him, he is explaining how he hasn't been doing some weight-bearing stuff. He's been lifting, and like I said, today was like, if you didn't know he was hurt, you wouldn't have known it by the way he was walking, and that's the first time that I've seen that. But he's still not fully going at it, so I don't think he's hitting yet since the hour ago I talked to him.
Back to the bullpen, not about Mike Schilt, but just like the bullpen in general, as far as the roles go, we know in the ninth inning it's going to be Suarez. But it does feel like there is maybe a little bit of uncertainty with guys' roles from the fifth on. I know that every new player on this team and every current player on this team, just like whenever Schilt calls on me, I'm ready to perform. But we all know also in baseball, having your role and having it to be defined is kind of important. So do you sense there's maybe like a little question with like maybe guys' roles? I don't like. How do you feel about that?
A little bit, because you can't help that, right? But I have talked to guys that they are over communicating. I don't mean that in any bad way. I know Mike Schilt would. That's how much a big part of my life Mike Schilt is. That now, even when I talk to other people, I'm going, how would Mike Schilt question me on how I said this? I'm not saying that in a bad way. They are over communicating. Ben Fritz, Ruben Niebla, Mike Schilt, Brian Esposito. They get together. They game plan everything. And they tell the players, like, here are the 4 scenarios. You could go in the 5th here, you could go in the 6th here, the 7th here, the 8th here. And then obviously still communicating with them throughout the game, but they are over communicating because of what you said, where there's just kind of things up in the air. Does it make the most sense for Adrian Morejon to be the guy in the 5th inning? Jason Adam has been your early guy. That's how it's made sense. They're also, I guess, sort of even contributing to the lack of defined roles is none of them are real, like, right-left guys, right? And so, like, they can fire guys in different spots, even though we know Mike loves his lanes, and certainly certain guys are better, but, like, they have just an abundance of options there. And so, but my understanding really is that it's working out because of this incredible level of communication. And it is now let's get back to the human element, which is what you're talking about. Guys, they do like to be in their roles, and guys do like to be the guy going later. And, but this is for a short time, and they truly believe they have a chance for a championship, and that changes lives. And so it's like Ryan O'Hearn, right? Like, he was a little bummed at the start, not playing, going to be a free agent and stuff, but now he's playing, and you know what else gets you paid? Being a part of a champion. So, like, there is that. Like, that we're not in July anymore. We're getting towards September, and there is a feel among these guys. Okay, this could be special. Like, this is cool.
Let me ask you this. So both teams are 74 and 57. We know the Dodgers have the tiebreaker. And I know the Padres since July 3rd have outplayed the Dodgers by 9 games. But I go to Fangraphs, and the Dodgers have a 67% chance of winning the division. The Padres have a 33% chance. Would you go down that path or not? To me, it feels like more of a coin toss. Or should we believe the Dodgers are the favorite until proven otherwise?
You guys might know more about this, because I also look at that and go, gosh, I wonder why it's like that. They simulate 20,000 games a day or something with, like, based on projected, what's Jackson Merrill? How many games is he going to play? They put all this stuff, and that's how, okay, fine. That's how they come up with it. I mean, who am I to argue with it? But, like, I honestly, I should probably have Jeff Sanders do a story on that, because it is, but by the time he gets it done, it'll flip, right? And one of the teams will be 5 games ahead and it won't matter anymore. Right. But, like, that is super interesting, right? Like, even when the Padres were a game up, it was that way, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. The Dodgers were favored when the Padres were a game up. Yep.
Yeah, and by a lot, like you said, 60-something% to 30-something%. So, look, here's the thing. They both have these ridiculously easy schedules after this series, I guess, right? Like 2 or 3 winning teams the rest of the way for both of them or something.
Yeah.
All right, Kevin, I'm going to ask you this question. I know the answer to it, but I just want you to tell our listeners, because I do feel like there's a big discourse right now with Luis Ariz and him hitting in the 2-hole. He's not moving out of the 2-hole, correct?
Luis Ariz, what? I'm sorry, I was bracing for it, and then but go ahead. What is the question about Luis Ariz? Because I have to get this ready and be right about it, because this is the most important issue in Padre land right now. So again, please, sorry, Jeff.
Is Luis Ariz moving off the 2-hole? Will Mike Schilt move him down in the lineup or keep him there?
I can tell you that, like, it's something they discuss, and people shouldn't read too much into that, because they discuss everything. But I don't think it's a guarantee that Luis Ariz. Oh, I know it's not a guarantee that Luis Ariz stays there. What we all should realize is Mike Schilt very much wants to leave Luis Ariz there. Okay. And Mike Schilt gets to make out the lineup.
I want you to ask Schilt about that the next time Ariz is hitless. Not after a 3-hit game, but the next time he's hitless, say,
Good luck,
Mike,
Kevin.
Would you consider moving Luis off that 2 spot? I'm kidding. Kevin, be well. Thank you. We'll catch up with you Wednesday, and thanks for doing it.
But I'm going to say it.
All right, Kevin, I see our Padres Insider, brought to you by the all-new Hulu Casino Resort, the Players Place.
That's so funny, Kevin. The second that 3-run homer goes over that wall,
he's like, I got to ask about it.
He's like, oh, I know where this is going to go. Schultz going to just be completely defensive on this.
I know that feeling when I had to talk to, and honestly, Rocky was terrific with it, but knowing I had to interview Rocky after a loss, because I'd be back here when the team was on the road.
Yeah.
I mean, he was all business, you know, like, and there's no real good question.
No.
Right. There's no real good question in some of those spots. All right. Jim's back page. Don't go anywhere. That's next. All right, San Diego State back Thursday. They'll take on Stony Brook at Snapdragon. Pregame coverage at 5, kick at 7. I know for San Diego State Athletics, San Diego Sports 760. What are you doing over there?
Stupid computer. StreamYard.
When in doubt, blame our streaming software.
Well, I'm clicking it and it's not like showing. Never mind.
Let me ask you this. Should we blame your computer or StreamYard? This streaming software, or is it more user error?
You know, of late, the software has messed up.
It's been awful.
It's been ridiculously awful.
If I was a manager, I would just blame everyone else.
Yeah.
I'd just be like, yeah, no, I mean, Estrada's got to be better there. Like, I made the right call.
Yeah, I
yeah, laugh it off like that.
Dude, that's the best.
That's a good laugh.
I need to have a side-by-side of that with Kawhi. Like the two, I don't say worse because they're actually hilarious.
Right.
Laughs in San Diego sports history.
Kawhi's is pretty interesting. Schulte's is very high-pitched.
Schulte's is more cringe. Kawhi is more like, there's no way a laugh sounds like that.
Have we heard Schilt laugh in 2 years?
Yes, I've heard Schilt laugh. But
In
not
that
to that
exact
extent.
manner? That's what I'm saying, like that.
Not like that. That's a next level laugh. It's kind of funny because I was listening to MLB radio this morning and he was actually on and he dropped a laugh similar to that.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. They were asking about, would you want to face the Dodgers again in the postseason in the NLCS or something? And he's like, yeah, I can't even do it, dude. I can't even do that laugh.
Brian, are you finding this right now?
I think he might be, yeah.
I was trying to. My
Yeah, don't
computer's
do it.
slow.
All right, let's get to the back page.
So apparently last week at Crumble Cookie, it was insane because of their Dubai chocolate
Right, you
brownie.
were saying that.
When I went to Crumble Cookie on Monday last week, the line was around the corner. And on TikTok, for some, obviously whatever you say, your phone picks up and then your algorithm goes to exactly what you're talking about. I saw all these videos of Crumble Cookie employees making the Dubai chocolate brownie and seeing stores being completely packed with the Dubai chocolate brownie.
Okay.
Now, that was last week. And where I'm going with this is it's Crumble Cookie Monday. So the new Crumble Cookies of the week, you might have a better chance of not waiting in line for like 45 minutes.
Because they don't have Dubai chocolate on
Because
the list?
the Dubai chocolate brownie is not on the menu for this week.
Well, they should have doubled down if everyone's waiting outside all night.
I'm sure they will eventually.
Right?
Because it apparently it was like a huge hit. Massive hit.
Okay, so what do we have this week?
This week, we have, first up, strawberry pretzel pie cookie.
Strawberry pretzel pie? Okay.
So it's a cookie with like strawberry like sauce on the top and then like pretzels.
Okay.
It's an interesting cookie.
Mm-hmm.
A wafer cookie featuring Kit Kat bar. Or Kit Kat bars, I guess.
Kind of like that.
Yeah, the Kit Kat bars looks like they're crumpled up on top. So that's good.
Okay.
A vanilla crumb cake cookie featuring golden Oreo.
Sounds good.
I would eat
Oreo?
that.
That sounds good.
I would eat that.
Yeah.
Hard. Cookies and cream milkshake cookie featuring mini Oreos.
Milkshake cookie.
Yeah.
Cool.
A s'mores cookie. A chocolate peanut butter chip cookie. And then a milk chocolate chip cookie. I think of the cookies here, I would go with the Kit Kat cookie, the s'mores cookie, and I think the vanilla crumb cake cookie featuring golden Oreo. That's what I'd probably go with too. Those are my top 3 this week.
I want Schilt's laugh after that.
I want Schilt's laugh after everything.
After everything.
Yeah.
Are you going to go there tonight?
Probably not.
Okay.
Because Aaron is back in town and
you can't just do whatever you want anymore.
Right.
Oh God, that's amazing.
It's so bad. It's so good. Oh man. Remember that 1-of-1 Kobe Jordan auto patch card last
Didn't you
week?
say, or maybe we talked about it. It went for a lot.
It set a
Over
record.
10?
Set a record. Do you watch Shark Tank?
Yeah, of course.
You know,
I mean, I've seen it over the years a lot.
You know Kevin O'Leary, Mr.
Yeah, like
Mr.
Ball Guy.
Wonderful,
Mhm.
Mr. Wonderful. Well, Kevin O'Leary was a part of this group that bought this 101 Kobe Jordan auto.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So it was like investors then? It was a lot of people?
He joined forces with a couple other investors to buy this card as a quote unquote investment.
Would you want a piece of something like that? Like you said, it's an investment, but do you actually then take it home or?
Well,
it's not really yours at that point. It's just, I guess it's in a vault anyway. If it's 12,
it's in a vault, which I kind of find to be a waste of the card.
You never even say it.
Yeah,
but I get it. You can't have a $12 million card in your home. A, you could be robbed. B, it could be a fire.
It's just crazy how this thing went for as much as it did. It sold for $12,932,000.
That's it.
It says right here at 3 a.m. on Sunday, the three collectors were on a Zoom call watching the final moments of a record-breaking auction. One was in Miami, one was in Spain, and the third was Kevin O'Leary, aka Mr. Wonderful. They had formed a syndicate to avoid bidding against each other, and
That's
together they secured the most expensive card ever to be sold: the MJ Kobe Dual Logo Man Auto.
So Kevin O'Leary's business stuff has worked out?
Probably, yeah. The card is the crown jewel of cards now, sports cards, one of one, game-worn, dual-signed, two legends. O'Leary says that it may never hit the market again in his lifetime.
What if I offered
$5?
$1,000. All cash.
Oh, yeah, that would
$1,500.
I'm sure they would take it.
$1,500.
Like, yeah, you can take it.
Best and final.
That's my final
Plus,
offer.
you could join us on the John and Jim show.
Right.
All right, let's do this again tomorrow.
Someone on YouTube chat said Schulte's laugh kind of sounds like Elmo.
It really does.
It kind of is.
Some Elmo in there.
There's Elmo.
All right, join us tomorrow at 2 p.m. We're getting you ready for Game 2 of this Padres Mariners series, a day closer to San Diego State football as well. If you missed anything today, sportssd.com. For Brent and Jim, I'm John. Keep it here. This is San Diego Sports 760.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.